We're done. We're done. We're done. We're done. I have my 2012 business casual. We're done. With the click. My nails match my outfit. We're done. It's so weird. Oh my god. Okay, so a year and a half ago when I started this, I just felt like no one was talking about this thing that had such a weirdly, had weirdly haunted my waking memory. Where's Baby Hand? And it's so weird that it's just like done now. We're just done. So we're done. When I started this project, I really wanted to share this, and I've shared this with some, like, 100 of you on the first video, and I'm gonna need my phone to stop bullying me. I just, oh my god, we're done. And so today, I have ingested some 16 pieces of media, all related to Lacey Harrelson's book series, The Clique. Coming out in 2004, it is a young adult, junior read, kind of middle school aged set of books taking place in the nebulous time of the 2000s, and following in Westchester, New York, following 5 friends as they, are rich and navigate life. Lacey Harrelson would say that they, are a microcosm of the bratty, over-entitled people she worked with at MTV during her time there as a writer of, I think, 90210. She's developed shows for MTV. It used to say, but whatever. Lacey Harrelson, mortal enemy and mother to this whole thing. She is truly my mortal enemy, but I love her. I'm going to take you through all 14 of the books, one prequel, and then a collection of 5 summer series, as well as the Cliqutionary, which is just kind of a throwaway thing. 15 books is a lot, and if you've looked at the playlist that this is attached to, my Year of the Clique, then you would know that it takes me like 2 hours to normally get through them. But we're not gonna have that issue, babes, because I relegated myself to 15 minutes to talk about each book. We're gonna have little interstitials so that we aren't getting bored, and also I don't want to front end or back end either part of this video with just my thoughts, but know that my thoughts will be quite intensive. Oh my god, I should have gotten OCD on a charm bracelet. I'm iced out today. Can't see my other one with my channel name on it, and my channel name. Let's get started. My kind of deal with the Clique is that in the wake of Gossip Girl, which is a kind of surreal, kind of grounded, kind of surreal show with rich kids doing the absolute worst, the Clique was set up to be that, but for younger audiences in a TV setting. the movie is so poor, which I guess I'll talk about. I have to because I have to. But the movie is so poorly done because it focuses too much on the first movie. But looking at like how the series, I feel so intensely and deeply confident about how good a show this could be. And I love a show where you know what the end point is. We all know you could do more things in between, but point A is Claire arrives in Westchester, and point B is Massey leaves for London. So I think there's so much to work in there. And so when breaking this down to tell you all about this, I decided to break it down into seasons. So I'm so excited about this. I think aging them up slightly in the case of a television show, because if your target demo is 12 to 14-year-olds, you kind of have to shoot for 14 to 16-year-olds, because that's just how child psychology works. They don't want to see other kids. They want to see people who look a little older than them. But like, I originally was like a Euphoria type show. No, I kind of want it to be a little more comedic, like lighter Gossip Girl, because there's less rape and pillage in this. But either way, okay, book 1, The Clique. And so what you need to know for book 1, The Clique. Okay, Claire moves to Westchester into Massey Block's guest house. Massey is a control freak and doesn't like that her plans are being interrupted or being told what to do. Claire is both of those things. Big things. Massey's parents are icy, detached. Massey being raised by essentially no one but her barely there housekeeper nanny type Inez, and her kind of moral compass for the first 2 or 3 books, Isaac, her driver. Claire's family is strictly middle class. They are, the 2004 ideal. They've got a dad who's a provider. Judy seems to not work here, but she doesn't seem like opposed to it. Like once Todd, her younger brother, is older, that she can get down. I was like, what is going on? I haven't turned on my timer to tell me how long I have to ramble. Okay. Massey is the most popular girl at OCD, Octavian Country Day School. Friends and notables are Christian, a sports star with a secret. Dylan, daughter of TV host Mary Lee Marvel. She's a redhead and she is fat. Those are her personality traits. Alicia, pretty, dancer, smart, ambitious, Massey's second in command. Claire Lyons, new girl from Orlando. She's down to earth. She likes cameras. She's not really big into fashion. She wants camaraderie and friendship and like capital W, capital F, white feminism, messy bun type feminism. Todd is Claire's little brother of an unimportant age. There's Judy, Claire's mom, Kendra, Massey's mom, and Jay and William, the fathers of each girl, respectively. OCD is a fancy girls' private school, girls only, school known for producing success. Part of the creed emphasizes personal style and leading to the most fashionable being the most popular. Massey is a scary top dog. Whatever she touches turns to gold. Lane is a misfit type, seemingly, with all the same access as Massey, yet she rejects it because she's too real. I need to state this off the top. I'm going to talk a lot of shit about Lane because I think 12-year-olds are kind of annoying. However, she reminds me very much of the TikToker Old Loser in Brooklyn. I love her and her content and what she brings to the table and how knowledgeable she is about style outside of the binary of just label whoring. I'm gonna talk a lot of shit about Lane, but that does not mean I'm talking shit about Old Loser in Brooklyn. They are lovely. I will link them in the whatchamacallit, in the description. Any thumbnails? Yeah. And Brooklyn tag, totally bestie. Right, let's get the clock going. I guess I'll give myself the 15 minutes. So, Claire's first week in Westchester is like sending a normal girl to Euphoria Middle School. Claire is overwhelmed by the fashionable teens. This is happening in the fall. This starts August 31st, September 1. It is, Okay, Claire buys a white pair of jeans out at an excessive price. First day of school, Alicia, Dylan, and Kirsten scheme to get Claire back after they call her bitches. After she calls them bitches because they were being bitches, they paint her ass red with paint, making it look like she got her period. Claire goes to the magical nurse Adele, who gives her access to the lost and found, filled with designer clothes, just seemingly wastefully discarded by the denizens of OCD. Massey is a horse girl. She runs into Chris Aberley, the older boy. She decides she's in love with him and that she's gonna make him hers. Does he know any of that? No. Truly and deeply. He's just like, I love my horse and I love my girlfriend. So Dylan is in the book. She's on a diet. That's it. Claire meets Lane and they find each other as kindred weirdo spirits. They decide to have a sleepover. Claire cancels it just to go and get bullied by the pretty committee. Massey's mom is gathering clothing for a charity auction for the school scholarship kids, for OCD and Briarwood, the connected boys' school. They wear uniforms for some reason, even though the girls do not. The girls bully Claire because Massey says so. Truly, that is all. It does not take much. They ask the iconic, at the sleepover, they ask the iconic, would you rather have no friends or have all the friends but they all hate you? Claire answers honestly, and the other girls decide to have fake friends so that they wouldn't be alone. Whew. Next morning, Claire hangs out with Lane. Oh, guess what? Lane's ride to the movies is her older brother, Chris Aberley. Lane Aberley, Chris Aberley. Claire then does some psyop from the window and is like, oh my god, Chris, it's so nice to see you. And that sends Massey up a wall. She is feral for this boy in a way that no teen girl should be feral for any other teenage child. Okay. Massey gets feral and lies and says that she's bestie with Lane to Chris Aberley to get close. She takes her around to bond because despite her disdain of the pretty committee, everybody wants to be friends with Massey. Massey blows off her friends for Lane. Claire sneaks into Massey's room and then cyber pretends to be her, turning the PC on Massey. And she learns a secret. Kirsten is secretly poor. Claire doesn't tell anyone. A lot of things happen. They toss Massey, pick up Claire. They go shopping. They spend a lot of money on Claire. Claire comes home. Her mom is pissed. She tells him that Claire's mom tells her you can't hang out with those girls and to return the clothing. Claire's like, I have another plan. Massey almost poisons the entire of 7th grade because, like, there's a whole subplot where Kirsten has to do this, like, project where she, where she has a business and it needs to make money, and you know, the other rich children at the school kind of have a leg up because daddy can fund it, but all the other kids have daddy, and Kirsten has Massey. Massey buys all the stuff to make the lip gloss and to sell it. They decide to go with peanut oil as the base, or almond oil, which a nut allergy is like one of the most common allergies you can have. So going with that, dumb idea. But whatever, they go with it, and Kirsten, and when they're they go on a field trip to an art museum. While on the bus, because they're all held captive, they're like, oh my god, you should buy this lip gloss. And they do. A couple of the kids have reactions. Lane is known and bullied for her weird food choices, which is again why I hate her, because I'm like, don't be nasty with your food. Wash your hands, you little gremlin. But she's known for that, and they end up using the oatmeal that is her food hyperfixation to balm and soothe the allergens until they can get to the hospital. Woo for Lane. Woo for Massey and Claire for not poisoning the pretty committee. At the charity auction, charity gala auction, Massey tries to make a move on Chris, but it turns out he has a girlfriend that he's very much in love with. Massey's embarrassed. The girls then dance around awkwardly with some 7th grade Briarwood boys. If you check out my full-length video on this section, we end up, you kind of get a zoom out where in Massey telling it, they're like, oh, yes, I was just flirting with them, and we were dancing, and they were flirting with me. And from the zoom out of Claire, they're like awkwardly like slow dancing together, and like, you know, keep a Bible between us kind of deal. And I think that's so important for kind of grounding how terrible these girls are, because when you're in it, once you start reading books and you're in it, you really kind of are like, why don't they let them sneak out of the house? And it's like, they can't drive. You have to kind of be like brought down to earth, because Lacey is compelling enough in that. And once you're in there, once you dive in, you're divin'. You're divin' in. So that's what we're working with. So I'm going to be ranking these books tier list style, and I have a little addition for each thing, but for the most part it's just about vibes. I'm gonna mark this a D. I hate this book. This series almost didn't happen because book 1 was so painful to read. I gave it a C because I said that you need it for the base, but like I really hate reading it every time. But I feel like it deserves a D. My least favorite book, however you need to read it. Part of the reason why this video will also have an interstitial talking about the Clique movie instead of me actually just talking about it in its full-length video is it's the same but worse. It's even worse. The Clique movie gets a fucking F. F for you change things that didn't need to be changed and you're low budget. And I'm gonna make another video about Bratz 2007. It's bad, and how it's going to affect, and it's my thoughts on it and compared to other media that was coming out at that time. And like the 3 things I can say about it is it makes unnecessary changes, it looks cheap, and it's just like it's a bad script. The first movie is a bad setup. When you're trying to convince someone to read something and kind of the main character and the most aspirational character is also the villain, it can be kind of difficult. But that's how the Snooki crumbles. Am I right? Am I right, ladies? Book 2. 15 minutes on the clock. Okay, from the last book, we know new characters is Cam Fisher, Derek Harrington, Chris Pulvert, and Klemp. It does not matter. they're the soccer boys, and they are going to be our main set of girls' this crush off and on throughout the series, with the exception of Alicia, who crushes on many different boys throughout this series, but in this book we'll be crushing on the older, I don't remember his name. His name's not important, but he's Cam's older brother. Cam Fisher is Massey's object of affection. He's got 2 different color eyes. He's got heterochromia, and he's a 12-year-old boy. I have no memory of the start of this book. Okay, so Becca Wilder and Liz Goldman, keep up, it doesn't matter, make a play for Massey's throne by hosting the first boy-girl party in the grade. Massey hears about this and decides to try and do a boy-girl party for her Halloween party blowout with the theme Fire and Ice. Massey cannot have this party unless she makes an attempt at being friends with Claire. She comes to Claire and is like, hey, get on board, with the promise of getting her a cell phone before she turns 16. This is my camera. Also, Claire makes a bet with Massey that she can't go full 30 days without shopping. Massey decides for the girls to dress as sexy, dirty, devils. Claire is supposed to be a part of this Christina Aguilera dirty look, but Massey then excludes her by just telling her straight up to her face, I don't like you. I don't want to make you a part of things. Stop trying. Massey and the PC, I don't know if I've explained what a PC is. PC is the pretty committee. Massey and the PC come to school in their micro mini skirts and ripped up tops with devil tails. This is a fashion statement. The girls are cutting themselves and their clothing to emulate this look. Some girls, again, cut themselves, injuring themselves, leading to Nurse Adele to go and complain to the principal about this. Massey and the pretty committee get in trouble because they get in trouble and they are made to change out of their slutty little outfits. They quickly are made, they go to Lost and Found, and they quickly make outfits that also become the inspo to these girls. The girls at OCD are followers, and Massey is a leader. Halloween night comes. Claire's dressed as a Powerpuff Girl because she's sad. She hangs out with Lane, and this boy that Lane is kind of fascinated with. And then she runs into Cam Fisher. They enter a Halloween dance competition together, and they win an iTunes gift card. Claire doesn't have an iPod, and so he agrees to burn CDs for her with the music he buys. The best Halloween a 12-year-old could ask for, am I right? Am I right, ladies? On the other hand, Massey and the pretty committee meet up with the devil as the devil sans Kirsten because she got in trouble with her mother. Her mother is strict because, again, she is poor. For the outfits, Dylan is sick, but she still comes. Side quest. Dylan and Kirsten often share this plot line. That is, they both want the attention of Derek Harrington, affectionately renamed Darrington. Oh my god. Kirsten begs Massey to keep Dylan away from the boy that they want. Their plot points are interlinked. That will come back later when we talk about things. Massey's too busy trying to woo Cam. Alicia shows up with the airheaded boy-crazy Olivia with her new nose. They try to play spin the bottle with the boys, but it ends with frustration and Cam getting away and accidentally maiming an old man, and that's when he meets Claire. At the end of the night, Massey is all alone with Claire. Claire is like, I met a boy, and Massey assumes it was a weird emo boy that she saw Lane and Claire with earlier. Claire doesn't correct her. We enter the delusion dungeon. So on Monday, the school holds a rally to say they are going to uniforms. Boo! But that the girls have a chance to design the uniforms for themselves. Yay! Quickly, the girls are working alone. Alicia working with Olivia, Massey working alone, and then with Claire, and then with Kirsten and Dylan as models as their plans all fall apart. after Inez accidentally, Inez, Massey's nursemaid, ends up yeeting her her stuff because it was in trash bags. Claire gives up the ghost on the bet, and Massey then buys some things. Massey thinks Cam is starting to fall for her. Okay, so Cam has been sending Todd up to the block's driveway to deliver things for Claire, and despite his crush, his childlike crush on Massey, he's very loyal to his sister. So he doesn't deliver it, he jukes. He does something that I think is scummy, which is he steals a kiss from her, being her first kiss. And that's scum. That's scum behavior, but whatever. Cam delivers the CD with sour gummy snacks. This ends up being a motif of Claire's and Cam's relationship, is candy and sweets. Alicia has been talking to the boys, so she knows what's up. Darrington is using both Dylan and Kirsten. Dylan for her access to tickets and activities, and Kirsten is doing his homework. He has a crush on Massey. Fashion show. So Alicia and Olivia and Massey and Claire are tied for the win. They decide to do, the judges tie them both together. They decide to do a vote where the student body and their family get to put little balls into a container to vote for which one of these uniforms they like the best. So, and what's also on the line is an interview with teen people. Massey loves interviews and being the center of attention, so she is determined to get this. She also had the most popular design. But they don't win because Alicia and Olivia switched out the labels on the bottles at the very end. This means that Massey won't get her interviews with Teen Vogue. Massey is pissed. Massey will get revenge. Okay. One more time. I put this at C, which I guess is fair, moving the other one down. Yeah. Great setup for the next book, but it needs to be more. I'm gonna put them up on screen. I have flowcharts of everyone's relationships because from the second book onwards, it is buku crazy. It's not buku crazy, it's stupid. Also, Lacey Harrelson has this problem with the first couple of books where the plot does not move in a way that it should. So we'll start with our relationships flowchart first, and then we'll come back to the plot structure. So we have Dylan likes Darrington, Kirsten likes Darrington, Darrington likes Massey, Massey likes Cam, Cam likes Claire, and Claire likes Cam. So keep that in mind. Keep that, pin it to the wall. Going to our plot progression, the way this kind of should be working is that it's the start of the plot and the end of the plot, and it felt like it should have been the Halloween party, should have been the center, because that's what the back of the book says. What is the center is the Halloween party. However, that essentially ends up being the inciting incident moving forward with this book. What it ends up being is start of the plot, Halloween party, fashion show, betrayal at the very end, and then on to the next book. The plots flow together, but there's arcs, and that's why I think it works well as a season. Again, book 1 would be episode 1. Maybe even a 2-part opener. I don't know if part of me kind of bedazzles with the idea of it being an hour-long show, an hour-long prestige drama, or if it should just be a half hour. I don't know. I couldn't tell you, honestly. But I do love the idea of it just going, and this whole first season just being stupid crazy nonsense. Okay, book 3, Revenge of the Wannabes. So Alicia and Olivia drive into New York City to do their Teen Vogue interview. Alicia and Olivia get nagged into doing some modeling for a Christmas cover, and they've also won a shopping spree. Massey and Dylan's mom get the uniform verdict thrown out because reasons, and they're back to styling themselves again. So the overarching theme for this is that Alicia's stirring shit up. Alicia goes to a pretty committee sleepover where Massey, in an artful way, in the art of bullying a teenage girl, just like psychological warfare, tells her that she's been cheating by doing an interpretive art piece about the cheating, and is like, "You're not our friend," written in like poorly painted works on the walls of their barn. She's like, not only did you cheat, but you're a bad friend. Just like wreck. So Alicia and Olivia decided. Alicia decided, Olivia followed, to build their own clique with cheap knockoffs of Kirsten and Dylan in the forms of Koi and Strawberry. There is no replacement Claire. And with the help of Daddy's credit card, buying Todd to spy on the pretty committee in an attempt to blackmail Dylan and Kirsten into joining with their secrets. So Kirsten's secret is being poor. That finally gets revealed to the rest of the group. And Dylan's is that she was going to a dieting camp called St. Barth's, because, you know, fat. Fat. So this ends up being generally unsuccessful. Like her attempt to get Cam's older brother. Oh, Ham Fisher? Do I just have him in there? I just have him in there as Ham Fisher. Cool. Ham Fisher, Cam's older brother's affection by buying Harris tickets to a sold-out Strokes concert. She thinks he will fall in love with her, but he's literally 17 and she's still 12, so not really a romance budding situation. Claire is secretly crushing on Cam because Massey told her that it was him or the pretty committee. She picks them, with this being a secret that would have been spilled by Alicia's blackmail. So the night before the photo shoot, Harris drives the boys. So, like, Alicia goes up to him and is like, "Do you need a date?" And he's like, "Yeah, I've got, like, a couple of friends I would ask." And she's kind of like, "Would it be me?" And, like, I'm an adult woman, so, like, this could almost work for someone. Imagine all this motion with someone who's just like, "I can't even reach the pedals in my mom's car." Like, she's like, "Is it me?" And, like, she, like, is trying to be sexy, and he's like, "Do you have something in your eye?" She immediately realizes this is not going to work out, and she's embarrassed. That's when she sees Massey coming over to Cam's house. Alicia tells Claire and is like, "Massey's a snake. Get with me. I'm not a snake." And they kind of argue back and forth, but Claire's ride or die, and she's decided to die with Massey. So while all this is happening, we have my least favorite type of plot point from Claire, which is, "I'm just so worried about Massey and the friend group. Everyone's arguing constantly. Get over it." So the night before the photo shoot, Harris drives up the boys and Isaac drives up Massey. The boys apologize somehow, and Massey, they're all sitting around each other. So the models up in New York is Koi, Strawberry, Dylan. At some point, Massey gets the phone number to the people up in whatchamacallit at Teen Vogue and is like, actually, these are my friends that I want to bring. And she obviously invites herself. So Koi and Strawberry, while there, are not going to be modeling. Olivia, Alicia, which I'll never forgive you, Lacey Harrelson, for putting those two names together so succinctly, because is all it comes out as. But they're the ones who are going to be modeling. Cam has been trying to get Claire's attention all night, but she's just sad. And Derek flirts and is funny and quirky with Massey, and Massey appreciates his not seriousness. He's like weird, but he's the most popular soccer player because he's the team captain and he's the goalie, and she's like, two alphas become one. Okay. So Cam, Derek, Harris are there. Dylan, Strawberry. I did write it down. Dylan, Strawberry, Kristen, Coy, Alicia, Olivia, and Claire. The interviewer, and Massey. The interviewer is trying to like impress these like kids, and Massey's like, that story's not true because I know everything. And you kind of believe her because it's Massey and she's compelling. All the girls are fighting. Massey can't buy anything. So next morning, interview is happening. The interviewer gives the girls like a budget, and then it's like, go shopping at these stores to model in, to show off, what holiday things teen girls want this year. So Massey can't buy anything because everyone's fighting, and she's putting out all these little fires, thanks to the fight. And then there's a fight at the shoot in which Alicia and Massey get into a physical fight. All the girls are fighting. All the photographer gets is shots of the fight. They decide to change the story about how the holiday season brings out the worst in some people, and they send it to print. With the asterisk, Derek admits that he has a crush on Massey. She likes him back. In this book, Claire and Massey get closer, and they are friends, and she is a part of the pretty committee. Enough that she has to do ultimatums to stay a part of the pretty committee. Massey generates hype with her magazine photo shoot, by selling out viewing parties to the masses at OCD. She knows how to manufacture some hype. Her alpha status is at an all-time high, and Alicia is like, whatever, she just wants to be a beta. She does not want that power. So at the end of the book, Todd comes to Massey looking all sad at the Christmas party and is like, we're moving to Chicago. What are we gonna do? It's the perfect place for me to stop. So we'll first go into the relationship panel, which is pretty good. It is just Darrington likes Massey and Claire likes Cam. Alicia and Kirsten and Dylan are just kind of off to the side. And a thing we need to know for the next book is Alicia's Spanish cousin is staying for the semester. Okay. And this is, ranking it, I would put it at a B. It's so long. It's too long. But it's good. It's got a lot of good in there. It's got enough good that I think if season 1 is a 5-episode arc, that you can get 2 episodes out of this. The first episode being the parts where Olivia goes off to New York, and then building her own clique would be the second half, with it all falling apart, maybe even in a third. I don't know. I would love to doctor a TV show this fully, but I feel like you could storyboard it pretty good on making this work. There are a lot of things in this book that could have been fine for a second to last book if this is where it had ended. I think if you're adopting the Clique into a television show, this is the first season finale. It sets up what's going to happen next without leaving too many loose ends. In a TV show idea, you could include Invasion of the Boy Snatchers, because Pretty Committee Strikes Back, Doll, Elf, or Loser, and It's Not Easy Being Mean are connected in an arc. But I also think that you have to keep Invasion of the Boy Snatchers part of season 2, because it's a part of the arc, but it's also spring semester. This is the end of the school year. When we come back, we will be discussing the second semester. But right now, we are not. But I really like this book. It's the first book where I was like, oh, I like this. I'm having fun. This is fun. I didn't just accidentally sign myself up to a year of torment. Okay, so, back when I filmed this video, the first time, I was like, I had like a whole rant about this whole thing, but I decided not to keep it because the videos were getting really long. And this technically isn't in our season 1, but it fits here to talk about it because it sets up some things about Lacey, about the series, and a part of me is like, oh, I wish I had included that, but I talk about it enough. So in the back of book 7, It's Not Easy Being Mean, we get a Q&A from Lacey Harrison. She answers questions from her readers. Questions ranging from who's gonna play Massey in the Clique movie, because I guess it had been announced at this point. And then one thing that bugged me is, who are the girls on the cover supposed to be? Who are the girls on the cover supposed to be? Is the one in the middle Massey or Alicia? Where's Claire? And why are there only 3 of them and not 4? The girls are cover models meant to represent a clique, not the clique. It's up to you to decide based on my descriptions and your imagination what Massey, Claire, Alicia, and Kirsten and Dylan look like. So if the girl in the middle looks like Alicia to you, then fine, she's Alicia. And if she doesn't, well, that's fine too. Whatevs. I find that to be problematic because I feel so silly. In our next interlude, we're going to talk about the Cliqutionary. And like, you can say all that stuff about you can imagine them how you want to, all you want, but in this book, and also in the section from, they all have different things. And even in this book, they all, like, this is the section talking about Claire. So it's got that blonde girl in it. That is, like, conceptually Claire. I want to know who these cover models are and if they're still, like, would I recognize them? Like, these girls, they got their fucking money's worth out of these girls. The issue is that, like, they label that one, the redheaded one, the Dylan one, and she looks exactly like the other girls. I've said this before. I said it in that video, but we'll get to it. We will get to this visual eyesore of a edition, but I hated that answer. I think she could have done better with how she wrote it to fill in that space, because the only one that's a redhead is Dylan, and then the one that's, so if she looked like her. How are you able to write for 7th graders when you were clearly no longer in 7th grade? Simple. I was in 7th grade at one point in my life, and I remember what it feels like to wake up in the morning and wonder if my friends will still like me, even though I did nothing wrong. I also remember what it feels like to gang up on someone because, well, better them than me, right? We've all been Masseys, and we've all been Claires at one point or another, and those feelings of abusing and being abused never go away. Seek therapy, because I don't. Okay, how did you come up with the idea to write about cliques? I worked at MTV for 10 years, and it reminded me a lot of middle school. People were always trying to fit in with the cool crowd, and it brought back a lot of memories. I like hear things like, who are you hanging out with this weekend? Did you get invited to any cool parties? Where did you buy that outfit? Where did you eat lunch with? Who did you eat lunch with today? Sound familiar? It wasn't long before I realized that the cliques and the desire to be accepted does not go away when you get older. They just get easier to laugh at, and that's why I wrote The Clique as a comedy and not a heart-wrenching drama. Sometimes the way we act is so pathetic, it's funny. Okay, Lacey. Any advice for people who go to cliquey schools? For starters, you have to understand why mean girls are mean. They are insecure. I know it's hard to believe because they're probably pretty popular, stylish, and outgoing. But trust me, it's true. Girls who put other girls down do it to feel better about themselves. So keep that in mind next time a pack of wild meanie weenies treat you like a loser. Know what they are, that they are pathetic ones, and simply walk away. And stop trying to be accepted by them. Do you seriously think you'd be happier if you were friends with them? Please, the whole concession on these books. Go find someone who shares your real interests and hang with him or her. It's better to have one real friend than 100 fake ones. Given. And then there is this little My Life Story essay. And you learn that, like, it's kind of like how Drake is like, I'm from the hood. And it's like he's from Toronto. And it's like, not that there isn't bad things happening in Toronto, but it's certainly not Crenshaw. It's certainly not New York. It's not Chicago. So her being like, she's also from Toronto. There's only like 7 places in Canada you can be from. And most of them are Manitoba.
I was like racking my brain on how someone like this can even exist. And then I found out she's from Manitoba.
Like, she didn't go to private school. She went to Hebrew school until 9th grade, and then she went to a public school. And, like, she talks about her, like, whole deal with fashion and everything, but, you know, I want to write a story about this, but I feel like being like, I got this information from whatever. She goes and works with MTV. She's got a BFA. She went to Emerson in Boston. She ends up doing casting on the game show Lip Service. And she moves to New York, and she works on a couple of different shows, One Bad Trip and Room Raiders. And again, she's like, it ends up being MTV that inspires her and not middle school. There were so many employees at MTV who would do and wear anything just to be accepted by so-called cool people. It reminded me so much of life in 7th grade. I had to write about it, and the rest is history. I wrote The Clique and Best Friends Forever while I was still at MTV, just in case my life as an author didn't work out. And in June 2004, I decided to take the plunge and quit my job and write full-time. Now I spend about 9 hours a day writing in my New York City apartment, where I'm currently working away on book number 8 in the series, coming out in August 2007. I am also trying to get my long-haired Chihuahua BB to stop licking my computer screen. But yeah, I get it, but I also still find it very stupid. Yeah, alright, cool. We have another interstitial, which, was inspired by and talking about the gel pen girl. I'm going to put up that TikTok on screen. I'm going to stitch it for you. But suffice to say that the glitter pen girl is someone who's got all the things, all like the justice catalog laid out before her. The adult glitter pen girl is me. And these are just my everyday drivers. Like, I use these pens. I am I am colorful pens down to my flip-flops. There are gel pens in that first box. But the I'd like to posit a reference of the anti-glitter pen, anti-gel pen girl, which I would say is Massey Block. So, referencing glitter pen perspectives, TikTok about the gel pen girl, a girl who has all the cute stationery and they use it and they are organized. They are with it. They are down. The core of the aesthetic is from the late 90s, early 2000s. Girl who comes to middle school prepared. She always has the sparkly pencils, the bubble gum, the Lisa Frank, the highlighters, and the locker full of of the magazines. She is a maximalist. And from her classroom to the bedroom, she is a planner with style. That's very Massey coded. However, Massey is not colorful. She's not gauche. She's not tacky. All these words are descriptors, not judgment calls. I love being tacky. So, as I am... So, that is so interesting to me about Massey Block. She is a planner. She is... She is annoying, bless her heart. But she maintains all of the classic hallmarks of a glitter pen girl without any of the color. So in thinking of that, you kind of have planner minimalist, planner maximalist, no planner, planner, and then minimalist, not a planner maximalist. I'll tell you first my initial thoughts when I did this, and then I will tell you my updated thoughts. So originally going from planner minimalist downwards, it's on screen, you'll be able to see it. You have Kirsten, who is a planner and a minimalist. Originally I put Claire on the line between no planner but being a minimalist. I don't agree with that fully. And then you have Massey, who is a planner, who is a minimalist because she does not deal in colors. It's closer to the line. But honestly, I think even now, doing it a third time, I would move her. I would move her again. And this can be another color so that we can tell that I would put her on the line between, she's always a planner, but I would put her between minimalist and maximalist because she is so out there. I put Claire on the line between planner, no planner and planner, but she is a minimalist. I move that, I put her true center. Claire is she's our fish out of water, our point of view character, so she kind of gets to be a fish. She just kind of gets to be not great at this, and kind of just flops around where we can get our information. But she does seem to have plans, and she does like the glitter pen. At the bottom of no planner minimalist is Darrington. He is fully just vibes. Stupid with vibes. Moving over, we have planner maximalist, Alicia. We have planner maximalist to the extreme, and a little further is Nina. We'll meet Nina. And then I have two schools of thought. My second thought was that Lane was that planner maximalist to the extreme on the other side, where she is just tacky as hell. However, I like that more because at first I had her at no planner maximalist, but she plans, but all of her plans are chaos because she is a chaotic person. Moving into not a planner maximalist, closest to being a planner is Olivia, and then on the line is Josh. We'll meet Josh. Below Olivia, closer to not being a planner, is in also not having that plan, just seat of the pants. I don't like Cam. He's a boy character, and these boy characters love to just be like, my girlfriend's friends are stupid. No. You, I get it, you don't get it, but you also don't get to be like, your friends care about things that I think are stupid. So they're stupid. No, thank you. And then we have Dylan, who's in the center, and I believe that with my whole chest. that she is just no planner, all vibes. She loves glitter pens and just draws with them. So yeah, I don't know, I came across that TikTok just as I was finishing once I was finishing the rest of the books, and was like, oh, that's Massey. I wonder where all the other people sit on that. So it was fun to try to just go through them. Book 4, Season 2, Invasion of the Boy Snatchers. I say it's Season 2 with my whole chest. Hold up, it's not in frame, because this book is the start of second semester. They're one step closer to becoming 8th graders, and you know, by that point you're kind of, you know what your schedule is, you know who you're sitting at lunch. Everything should be a little more settled, but it ain't. This is the craziest season. This will be the season where when they're like, oh my god, remember the clique? Remember Season 2? It's Season 3 of Grey's Anatomy. It will be where people found it, it got its legs underneath it, it was serving court. I feel like also, in a meta way, this is the video that I really feel hit my stride as far as media analysis, because there's something about misogyny so strong that it winds back up into queer that is so interesting to me. So, things you need to know. Slut shaming of Nina, Todd is a creep, soccer and boys, kiss versions, and xenophobia. So after Christmas break, filled with friendship and sisterhood between Claire and Massey, they return to Westchester. Claire doesn't know she's moving. Jay, wow, he has a name, announces that he's moving his family to Chicago. Everyone is mad. William talks Jay into staying longer, living in their guest house after it is renovated. Cool girl, causing the girls to have to bunk together. Alicia's Spanish cousin Nina has come from Spain. At the welcome party, she is so mature and eye-catching to the boys and the less secure girls. Alicia wants to play both sides with Massey and Nina, fighting to be at the top of OCD. Kirsten got a bad boyish haircut, and Dylan caught a cold. She's hoping to lose weight from her cold. The girls are still into their crushes from the previous books. Olivia is busy with mono. Briarwood is prepping for soccer finals, and a new bad boy catches Alicia's eye. Nina is so hot that everyone has this like unkind slut shaming comments. Every comment made about her is accompanied by some slut shaming topic of her body, how she is dressed, and might she be underdressed and over-sexualized for a 13-year-old? Absolutely. Do the adults in the room need to be making these comments, and also making comments in a way prior to this that their children hear it? No. Okay, so Massey has changed the State of the Union, which is a thing that I didn't talk about, but if you watch my videos you know what it is, into a blog. Claire wants her first kiss to be with Cam, to be at the Love Struck dance. Nina offers to teach a kissing camp, but it would be on Fridays, stepping on the toes of the sleepover. Nina plays up her hot Latin sexiness, and whenever she's confronted about breaking a rule or something, she's just like, my culture, bum 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 bum, and it's like, okay, like I can't imagine being like a principal at this school, and like these girls are like, I'm so hot and sexy, but they're like babies. Hot babies. We learned something about Alicia. Alicia aspires to become a journalist, a professional gossip. Nina's sister, she also becomes the person who's doing the morning announcements at OCD. Nina's sisters keep calling, but she keeps ignoring the calls. At the sleepover, things start going missing, and Nina sets up a bet for Kirsten and Dylan to win a couple of pairs of shoes to whoever kisses a boy first. Claire and Massey fight because living together is tough. Kirsten starts dressing by Nina's advice. Read trashy inherently, red lipstick, a water bra, tighter, sluttier clothing, and Dylan wore the full face of makeup caked up on her face, tacky. Nina insinuates that she's had sex before. She is 13. What in the Degrassi is going on? They have a Sadie Hawkins style kind of situation for the dates. They're talking to their crushes, but they don't specifically say that, you know, I want you, I want you. So the boys run away, and the girls are kind of miffed at this, that they would do that. Claire, Alicia, and Massey decide to get revenge on Nina. We have 3 failed attempts until they find a camera that they had attached. They were trying to do something else, but it ends up being attached to her. That camera ends up being found in the locker room of Briarwood. It is assumed that it's from a rival team trying to find out what they're doing in the locker room. But Massey, Alicia, and Claire know that they put that camera on her. They go find the camera in the hot new boy Josh's locker room. Josh is like a bad boy. He got kicked out of his other school for being too bad. We never really learned anything else he did, but he's just too bad. He's bad to the bone. He's 12. He wears a New York Yankees cap. Brown. Jay-Z. So, we end up with her going into it, finding one of her bags because she writes her names on the inside of all of her Ralph Lauren bags because she loves Ralph Lauren. And it becomes clear that Nina is lying to keep the boys from their crushes. They call her sisters in Spain to find out that Nina stole their shoes and clothes. Turns out that Nina is a reformed LBR, and Alicia has proof that she was, in fact, like a loser like 3 months ago. So Alicia decides to print off all of these bad photos of her and then release them on her as she is crowned the Love Queen. Also cutting her heels so that she falls on her butt. It's a weird thing. Psychological terrorism. So Kirsten's mom ends up chaperoning the dance. She's treated like she's a bitch, but it's like she's a normal parent who's like, I would prefer if my children were not bullying other people's children after Coy like falls or something. It's, you know. Claire has been using the candy hearts as a tarot heart system to tell her what she needs to do with Cam, whatchamacallit, in this like allergy space. Dylan is sick and says something that is misunderstood as a bomb threat, and Kirsten gets arrested. Side note, Kirsten kind of gets arrested a lot for being the most underprivileged member of the group. A lot of these books just for the laugh. Massey meets up with Darrington to confront him about ignoring her. He explains that Nina said that if he met up with his crush that they would lose the game, and so they all decided to avoid them like the plague. They were under the impression that Nina had told them this, and that's why it would have been fine. But obviously Nina didn't, because Nina seemed to just be a villain for the sake of villainy. They end up winning the game, and Massey gives him her M brooch for, you know, good luck for being the MVP. So I literally went to a vintage store, like, I think I had like 2 books left, went to a vintage store, saw this, and was like, I have to have this for the final video. Best $3 I ever spent. It's so cute. We cut to Claire. She's kissing someone. It's easy. It's good. It's not Cam, it's Josh. And Cam catches them and runs away. On to the next book. Let me tell you, bitch. Let me tell you. Okay, so like this book gets an A. It's our first A. It's a real thinker. Queer literature, slut-shaming, xenophobia. It's a little fucked up. And Claire and Massey are friends. I think that I've like narrowed it down that the best books are when they're friends. So let's get to our relationship flowchart. Alicia likes Josh likes Claire likes Cam, Kirsten likes Kemp, Dylan likes Chris Pulver, Massey likes Darrington. Our plot arc, we are finally getting to when the arcs make sense. We return to Westchester. We meet Nina. Kirsten and Dylan are caught up because they're always caught up in this stuff. Nina is caught. We get Nina revenge, and then we have Wrong Kiss to end the book. Let's go to book 5, I think. As far as the show, this being the start of season 2 would be so good. It's either a really good ending. I don't like it because it happens at the beginning of the next semester, but it's a really good start to being like, oh, we had this like you're forever rooting for OTP couple, and turns out they're not OTP right now. They are not together, and you gotta deal with that. You gotta figure it out. I love that shit. Okay. So I feel like you would get this in 2 episodes. Next episode would be 1 book. And then I think I don't know. I go back and forth on this. It took me like a month to do these scripts. So I kind of waffled back and forth on what I would do. As far as how I would set it up. Because really, the story's there. Getting a more talented writer to make it interesting for TV is really what it takes to put it on the other level. Book 1 is a bad movie because book 1 is a bad book. It's just not compelling, where the person who's the most aspirational is also the worst. I guess the thing I can add is that I feel like after sitting here with it for a little bit, I really do feel like this show could be like Gossip Girl meets Sex and the City, where it's like bitchy fashionable people are just being the worst in romance and love, and it's grounded, but you can still have a little bit of weird. Yes, all right, yeah. 15 seconds, 15 minutes on the clock. Okay, let's get to not the most unbelievable book, the stupidest book, but stupid in the best way, and you can do it kind of like Are You Afraid of the Dark camp style. The Pretty Committee Strikes Back, 2006. This is the start of our fantasy part of the series, and Kirsten should be in baby jail. Okay. So the girls are going on a class trip to Lake Placid. Massey's gonna kiss Derek. Claire is gonna get Cam back, and Alicia's gonna find out who Josh has a crush on, Claire, and bully and beat them. I guess it's unclear. Dylan's mom is coming on the trip and is flirting with their asshole male teacher, and Kirsten is too poor to go on the trip. Or is she? From the start, Massey has lied about kissing Darrington to the PC. Alicia is supposed to help get Kirsten. Alicia is suspicious. To get Kirsten help to earn the money to go to the class trip, Massey teaches a kissing workshop. They make about 1/10 of the money they would have needed. Bummer. Lane slut shames Claire for cheating on Cam. Lane has started menstruating and is going through panties like clockwork. We will return to this. Pinned on the wall still. We'll take that pin off much faster though. Okay. On the way up, Massey avoids Darrington, and it's bad. She's just like freaking out. She is not in her element, but I think that's part of the reason why it's good. Asterisk, why is the only chaperone if Mary Lee wasn't there? Literally a dude for middle school girls. Like, they have another teacher there who's there for the boys, and he's a dude, obviously. Why is the only male teacher? And he's like super intensive, and it's like, oh my god, you and your clothing, and it's Lane is like, I need underwear, and he's like, get rid of all your material possessions, you harpy bitches. Like, he doesn't call them that, but he's like inches away from it. Sometimes it's like, if you're too deep in the book, you're like, oh my god, these teachers, they just don't get it. But no, he's just the worst. He is the worst. Constantly. So, pull the pin off the wall. Lane leads bloody panties around the woods. Panties that look a lot like Alicia's, even though they come from Claire, because Alicia and Claire went to Victoria's Secret at the same time to buy underwear. I guess put them both on the wall now. So Massey pulls Claire to teach her how to kiss. While learning Kirsten reveals that she hopped a bus to Lake Placid and then walked to camp, lying that she had a soccer trip so her mother wouldn't worry about her. They hide her under the bed, and Claire decides to dress up as a boy in Kirsten's soccer uniform to sneak into the boys' cabin and give Cam an impassioned speech. They agree to kiss the next day. Well, Alicia overhears this and is like, evil on my mind. And decides to get back at Claire for kissing Josh and Josh having a crush on her. She gets the Cam first and convinces him to kiss her. Massey gets into a tiff with Darrington, and then they go back and forth. This is happening throughout the entire like camp experience, but with it ending up where she's like, I'm gonna kiss him, and then she kisses him so aggressively that like they're making out, and it's so weird for Darrington that he's like, ugh. But they figure it out, and then they share a normal kiss. So they're dealt with. Cam comes to Claire in the middle of the night, dressed as a girl to explain, and then kiss Claire the next day. Mr. Menard is like, whose panties are in the woods? Pull it off the wall. So we know two things. We know that for some reason the group knows what Alicia's panties look like. We know that they are not Alicia's panties. We know that they're Lane's. And we know that Claire gave them to her. And Claire could be like, just keep your mouth shut. But she's mad at Alicia for kissing her boyfriend. So she's like, oh wow, Alicia, it's so weird that you left those panties there. Well, Massey's like, this is stupid and not about me. So, Claire, you're a bitch. Alicia, I'm standing up for you. Lane and your weird, gross, bloody panties. Alicia runs off into the woods. Massey follows her. Dylan follows them. Kirsten joins up. Claire follows. They're in the woods for hours. No one's listening to Kirsten and Claire, the only two people who have even a brain cell popping up and locking in this brain of 5 girls. They wander around for so long in a circle that it gets dark. They finally get back to camp and everyone's like, where were you? And they're like, whoops. So they're like, you're suspended. You're expelled. And you didn't even learn anything on this trip. And they're like, true. The girls all are like, we're not gonna get suspended. That kind of thing doesn't happen to girls like us. And then Alicia's like, yeah, we're probably gonna get suspended, but like my dad will take care of it. Don't worry about it, girlies. Like, but they should worry about it because they do get expelled. Now they have to talk to a Tribune. Of course, Kirsten, who's there on a scholarship, is like, it's prison, baby jail. But of all the girls, Kirsten kind of deserves it the most because what was she doing here? What was she doing? She didn't need to be here. So first we'll go to our love quadriplegians, our love decahedrons. Talk about our love triangles. We have the same love triangle from the last book, which is Alicia, Josh, Claire, Cam. Josh kind of takes it on the nose that his crush is not reciprocated with Claire, and that's really good. Dylan and Kirsten, barely there. See, like, Dylan's plot point is that her mom is flirting with Mr. Minor, which is, like, valid, actually. Kirsten truly appears at the end just so that all the girls are together. Massey and Darrington. So we actually have a coherent plot arc. Post-dance fallout, kiss camp, trip up, scavenger hunt, Kirsten arrives, drag love, strange kiss, night in the woods, expulsion. And what's our ranking? B. Like, it's a great setup. Again, there's so much setup. This is the perfect arc for a television show where we just keep going. Things are feeding into each other. But it's also dumb, stupid, dumb. My favorite, though. We have less and less cyberbullying and more campy, slocky bullshit. You can even do, like, the first half of the episode like it's a horror movie. And then them being trapped in the woods is just so stupid. And then they come out and they're like, I'm glad we got out of this with our friendship intact. And then it's like, no, you're expelled. And like, if I was Kirsten's mom, I would not be letting my child hang out with the children who also helped her get expelled. I just wouldn't. Okay, this is a single episode, maybe a two-parter, because I do not care about the parts where they are bad at being in the woods. It is truly filler, like the middle section of the book filler. The lack of talk about periods, like, they kind of touch on it, but, like, we never know this information about the girls. And I truly appreciate that level of escapism. However, fun fact about me is that when I got really into Hunger Games, my like Hunger Games fan fiction era like culminated that it threw me off so much that they never talk about Katniss getting her period. And like anytime I was like, they're in the games, like what if she gets her period? I have like a traumatic period stuff happening in my life. So I ended up writing like shifter romance Omegaverse fan fiction of the Hunger Games because I was like, werewolves go into estuus. They do not get their period. I don't have to think about it. All they do is fucking accidentally get pregnant. Yeah, I'm an accidental pregnancy truther. Sorry, cry about it. Okay. Dial L for loser. We are in the wish fulfillment. It has been a while since I've hated Massey, but it's a time that I hate Massey and it works. I like to call this one, you know, Clique Goes Hollywood. So this story could be its own standalone story or like TV movie. Like, you know, iCarly, Drake and Josh, Big Time Rush goes Hollywood. But it works. Like, take your suspension of disbelief. Kobe. Joyak? Russell Westbrook? Bye. It is just like we are on a vibe. We are vibing right now. So, a suspension hearing is in a month, and Claire is getting her homework from Lane. They have to stay home. They're no longer going to school. She's getting her homework from Lane. Kirsten's mom is making her study philosophy so that she understands life, so that she understands what she's throwing away. Dylan is unconcerned. Alicia is going to be sent to Spain and is also kind of unconcerned. And Massey's like, I'm going to end up in London. She's like, that's so cunt. But like, not really. My friends. That's not going to happen. They're just... So... going to a European boarding school. Very iconic, very chic. The girls go to the mall, but that's getting boring. They go to the mall every day now. Dylan's mom offers the girls the opportunity to go watch a taping of the Daily Buzz, Good Morning America dupe, where teen icon is doing press for this movie. The actresses are in conflict because co-star 1 keeps hooking up with co-star 2's boyfriends. The two of them get into a physical fight on set after Dylan hears a bit of tea, tells Massey in the bathroom, well, guess who's in the bathroom? Someone who's got a microphone PA to the sound system. Everyone hears a fight breaks out. She literally quits on set. The director freaks out, snaps his phone in half, and then he takes Massey's phone. He literally is like, bap. Oh, that hurt my hands. Bap. And then she's like, what is happening? And then he goes, yoink, that's mine now. I have to go be a businessman. So he goes off to be a businessman and takes her phone. Wow. A couple days later, Massey's phone calls Alicia. It's the director. He would like for her and her friends to come out and audition for the co-starring role as the loser. Claire and Massey convince their parents to come with their moms acting as chaperones. I have an asterisk in here that Kirsten has been writing a compelling letter to the school board. Alicia is coming. Kirsten is obviously not allowed to come because she's literally in trouble, and what the hell. And because Martha don't play that way. And Dylan can't stay because Dylan was literally inculcated, voice and all, into the conflict that started all this. So we essentially get the cleanest, neatest way to get rid of these girls. Why, at this point, I was questioning why these girls are in the story. Why are they here? Because they're obviously not a part of the main plot ever. They're off in their own plot circles, doing whatever shit they want to do, which is fine, but staying 10 toes down on them. Should have been secondary characters. So, let's recap each girl's plot. Kirsten is writing the letter and hanging out with the normies. Dylan is on a crash diet where she's eating exclusively brand and then, she's shitting and farting everywhere. Alicia and Massey are news correspondents for the Daily Buzz, and they proceed to bully the shit out of Claire. Claire gets to star in the movie and be less alone. Once in LA, Alicia and Massey bully Claire. They go to the audition where Alicia's too confident, Massey just cannot get it, and Claire gives loser awkward 12-year-old perfectly. Claire gets the role and becomes popular, and the cast and crew love and adore her. She's charismatic here, and they even give her a bedazzled cell phone, her first official phone. Massey and Alicia are anchors for the Daily Grind's on-set show, and they're bad at it. Massey gets really camera shy. She gets like deer in the headlights, and Alicia can't lead the show by herself. She gets the giggles. Side quest. Okay. The two co-stars that I named co-star 1 and co-star 2, we have Abby and Hadley. Claire's co-host is known for stealing boyfriends while dating the other star, Connor. Connor is camp. If you watch, actually go watch that video. It's a lot of fun. But Connor, a man who speaks in third person, is like flirting with Claire. We're like watching like we are in some non-consensual weird teen foreplay happening where they just cuck each other constantly. So Connor flirts with Claire, Hadley, Abby, whatever, flirts with whoever. Like, they are the worst. And Claire is actually kind of keeps her head on her shoulders. She's like, I'm aware that these people aren't actually my friends, but I would like them to be. We'll see how this goes. I like Hollywood. I could be a Hollywood person. Connor ends up inviting, in an attempt, Claire is getting flirted with, but all she can think about is Cam. In an attempt to make Abby jealous, Connor invites Alicia and Massey to swim. They end up in a tabloid that he called on. They, instead of looking hot and sexy, which again, 12-year-olds, they end up in this tabloid with water wedgies and snot rockets. It is not flattering for them or Connor. Connor's pissed. Why is the 16-year-old Connor hanging out with these dorky children? The movie is going well. Massey's feeling slighted, so she sends Cam a video of Claire kissing Connor for a scene, and Cam breaks up with her. She's so sad. Oh no, she's sad. Claire like responds and is like, there's nothing going on here between us. And Cam's like, you're right, there's nothing going on between us. I was like, if you don't stop being dramatic, boy. Claire goes to the rap party to try and feel less alone, and Abby doubles down that they are just co-stars. And Claire's like, I knew it, but it still hurts a little bit. She goes back up to her room and runs into Alicia and Massey as they're coming back from dinner. They end up having a little food fight and they make up. They end up all sharing all the clothes that Claire got in Grazie's, and it's, you know, it's a good feeling. They go back to New York. Kirsten got them back into school, and Cam and her get back together. This is the last time that Claire will truly feel happiness. It's no fucking joy for her. Our romance corner is just Claire and Cam, Massey, and Derek. And then I have on here Soccer Boys and Kirsten and Dylan, because they were hanging out with them and like making friends with them while they were gone. Like, things are happening without Massey being there. This one, again, has a really good, we have kicked out of school, daily grind fight, going to LA, getting the job, daily grind interviews. This is the book that has the iconic tampon scene that ended up not being as traumatic because fully formed Forto Corruptex, yeah. Wild Night Out, Pap Swim, breaking up, makeup, reunification. I give this book an A. It's a side quest movie book. I do not care. Clique Goes Hollywood. It's so fun. Like, I hate Massey in all the right ways that I should. This is a perfect season final, but also it could also be a good two-parter or a TV movie in the middle of the season. Let's go to the best book. Just getting more and more tone deaf. Alright. It's not easy being mean. Okay, Expansion of the World. I read this book in 2 days. This is the book that I had before. This is book 7, I believe. It's so cute. It's so fresh. It's my favorite. My nails match it. My other favorite nails from last year came from this. The suit, I just like the suit. Don't worry about it. But it's fun. We're having fun. We get some Alphas integration. If you don't know, I also covered Lacey Harrelson's 6 sequel series, which is Alphas, following a character from here, a secondary character from this universe, and then into some other shit that just gets like, knowing that these two things exist in the same universe, it would be like if finding out that Euphoria and Westworld existed in the same universe. But, you know, what am I gonna be mad at? Not that. So, I'm gonna be straight up with you, this is my favorite book for a while. Straight off the heels of Doll Elf for Loser, Todd and Nathan. Nathan is Todd's friend. They call him Tiny Nathan because he's petite. They are doing a fire sale of Claire's celebrity stuff. While outside, the 8th grade Alpha Sky Hamilton brings in an envelope inviting them to compete in the 8th grade Alpha, top of the clique at OCD. Massey assumes it's just a formality. It is not. And is like, I'm gonna ask for it, but whatever. Being top of the clique means access to 9th grade parties and a secret under-school hiding spot. Massey loves to win, so she's gonna win. She has to win. The key is hidden in a space under the mattress of a boy that Sky has kissed. Multiple groups of girls have gotten their invite and the search is on. Claire, with the acting bug in her system, and her family supporting her, she's ready to be a star, but choosing her dreams is cutting into her friend time. The pretty committee is unimpressed. Read jealous. Massey returning to OCD after LA. The threat to her throne is coming from every direction. Claire, Sky, Lane, everything's weird. Kirsten is jealous because she did all the work to get the girls back into school while the other 3 got to iCarly Goes Hollywood. And also, the pretty committee has to join a club, so they decide to join soccer, which is Kirsten's thing, and they do not have what it takes. And the Lady Tomahawks, the name of their soccer team, are in the runnings to go to the playoffs and win in the finals. And she can't have them tearing them down. She truly cannot live that life. That really, Alicia tears up the field because she refuses to run. She doesn't pick up her feet. So she's just dragging her cleats through the grass. And like 9/11, it's just fucking napalm. They end up being so bad that the coach kicks them off the team and is like, kicks them off and gives them an excuse, Trump style, saying they've got bone spurs and that they are cleared. Alicia and Dylan are just kind of there. Alright, Kirsten is the team captain, the soccer alpha, and so Massey sees them as dorks because they don't worship Massey, they worship Kirsten. But Kirsten's actually good. It's not going to make sense to you yet, but Mac from Talent is Massey with self-awareness. Because Mac knows that she is unsatisfied with life because she has no talent. Massey does not realize that and searches for meaning in the superficial. It will make more sense when we get to my talent video coming in August. So Claire is not giving 100% to the pretty committee and helping them find the key after they get kicked out of Harris's house, Cam and Harris's house, for tearing up his room, his brother's room, looking for the key. Massey kicks her out of the group, and then she goes to Lane, and then Lane and her realize, oh, the person that Sky kissed is Lane's brother, Chris. She gave him a little baggie of Hershey Kisses. Side quest. Chris Aberley has broken up with his girlfriend of like 4 years because he was too into his horse. So now he's sad and Sky has a crush on him. The reader will remember this. Lane and Claire, put it up on the wall. Lane and Claire get the key and then tries to barter to get Claire and Lane back into the PC. Lane doesn't want to be in the PC. She just wants to like be able to hang out with Claire sometimes. So she's like, I want to be able to come to like one sleepover a month. Claire is up for this role against Cole Sprouse to be a sad, skinny orphan. But she has to change so much about her look, and she's so deeply unhappy that she decides to put the acting on hold. Claire and Massey make up, and the stipulation that Lane be allowed around, they're all besties. They get the key. Kirsten wins the soccer game. The girls get off the field. They show Sky the key. They go to the hidden room to test it, and then we are left on a cliffhanger. This one doesn't really need a romance thing because the romances are kind of secondary, and I really do think I love that about this book, is that, yeah, the girls are all kind of the worst, but it's also not about boys. Hate when it's about boys, and we'll see what I mean about that. With our plot, our little thing, our graphic is Sky sends them the letter, the girls join the squad, Claire's in New York, getting kicked out of Cam's, getting kicked out of the PC, finding the key, the law case, and then unlocking the cliffhanger. I rank this an S. The girls are all friends and they're working together towards a common goal. It's such a good like linking of the two books together that it really grounds Dial L while also being like, okay, this is where we're going. Let's go. And it just works. It just works really well for me. 2 episodes. The story arc, part 1, about the soccer team and Claire considering going to LA. And then part 2 being she finds the key, breaking up the group, being deeply disillusioned with Hollywood, missing her friends, and then the ending with the cliffhanger and the hidden room. I'm so sorry. I'm just allergic to living. So I did put in a little thing. So it's Claire and Cam, Massey and Darrington, Alicia and Josh, question mark. Alicia likes Josh. Josh seems to be aware of that. They really gets put on ice for a little bit. The soccer boys with Dylan and Kirsten, with Dylan liking a mystery person. We'll get back to it. Side quest. Massey gets the ick from Darrington because his room is too messy. Alicia gets the ick from Josh's room because it's too clean. Dylan shares a fun moment with Darrington in which the reader will remember. Put it on the wall, bitch. Okay. You ever been held up at gunpoint? Ooh, the same way. This video was supposed to come out at the first week of July, and this is gonna probably come out the 4th week of July. Similarly how I felt last year with Sealed with the Diss in both July and August until I finally put this piece of shit to bed. I just didn't like it, and there's so many important things that happen that I'm supposed to like know and like about this, but I truly don't. So the only thing that I can tell you is what I googled, because like I think if I do 16 videos about a subject, I'm allowed to phone in 2 of them. Okay. Okay. I hate this book deeply, personally, with my whole chest. All of it hates this book. Okay, so I had 2 months to read this book and I still only did about half the book. So we open the door and it's a 13-year-old girl's dream. A Froyo stand, iced coffee, Starbucks, massage chairs, clothing, a TV with a spliced in feed into the emotional health class at Briarwood. The girls use this TV to learn about their crushes, and Claire gets disillusioned with the fact that Cam is not the perfect, most empathetic boy that ever existed. He laughs at fart jokes and girl jokes and things. She's like, he's a pig. She then thinks he's cheating on her with a girl from summer camp because he keeps IMing her and he prints out the IMs to talk to the other boys with about. She blows up their relationship. So now that they know about the key, but they can't have unfettered access yet, Sky makes a deal with Massey that if she gets them together with Chris Aberley, that she will get an invitation to her 8th grade graduation party and the girls will get the key. The girls need dates and they can't be embarrassing. Using the TV, they find out that the boys like girls who can eat, and that sends Dylan into a binge eating deal with her eating in front of the boys and farting and burping and eating. Clem and Pulvert are so into her. Alicia's there with Josh. Kirsten gets a wild hair in her ass over this email boy that she totally changes her personality for to intrigue him. Okay, so with Massey working on her social standing, puts Darrington on the back burner. His actual physical ass is out all the time and is embarrassing her. He's going to embarrass her at Sky's party, and she just doesn't communicate this with him because she's 12. Also, it can kind of maybe be that Chris Aberley also likes Massey, and she's like, I'm about this bread. I can't be bothered with this. She doesn't have time for love. She wants power. So she kind of ignores this. Yada, yada, yada. The rest of the book takes place. With the ending of the book, like the last third of the book being Lane trying to get connection back to the secret room, Claire ends up just hitting a button that resets the modem, but Lane's up there with a power drill drilling into the ceiling and ends up drilling into a pipe that is filling up the pool above that classroom, with them flooding the Briarwood Academy. The girls go to the party with their crushes and then break up with them or were broken up with. They flood Briarwood, and so next year the boys will have to go to OCD with them. Next year for 8th grade. This one's got... I really like my little plot breakdown for this one because I just have get dates for the party. And at the end said all your crushes break up with them. And then in the middle it just says don't ask me bro because I don't know. So this one has one of the more complicated... Ooh, that's fully blurry. This one has one of the more complicated... Wrong button. Come on. This one has one of the more complicated... love decahedrons with Sky likes Chris, Chris likes Massey, Massey likes Darrington, maybe Darrington likes Massey. With Cam, random girl likes Cam, Cam likes Claire, but Claire doesn't know if he's cheating. Soccer boys and Dylan, Alicia and Josh, Kirsten, emo boy. Ranking it, I give this book a D. This book was peak middle school This book was peak middle school cringe in a way that I want to understand this plot, but I can't because it's all undercutting each other's happiness, and this is the start of Claire being my least favorite character because she's just so miserable all the time. At least when Massey's bad, she's having a ball with it. When Claire is doing anything, she's miserable until Cam is my boyfriend again. And I can't live my life like that. Cam is my boyfriend. Wah. Cam is not my boyfriend. Wah. The PC likes me. Wah. Massey hates me. Wah. Nothing is ever enough. Get this girl on an SSRI. We can end the season on this because ending a season with a historical building flooding is very teen television. But I would need a talented writer to fix this bitch because it's a hot mess. It's beyond me. I give it up to Jesus. End of season 2. If my previous breakdown said that it was a single episode, I don't know. I'm saying it as I need to say it to you. to kind of get it across. I'm not a producer on a television show, so I don't need to put this much effort into it. Another season with the arc being spring semester, just like so much fun. And I just like lived my little tween life in some of these books. Some of them, obviously, I found to be so agitating that I might vomit, but I didn't. So I thought for this interstitial, and I'm gonna take off my jacket, I guess. This book that came out pretty late into the Clique's like coming out publishing history, and it's got all these like breakdowns. It's definitely like a little activity book about like the meta of the Clique, and also this book has a little like turnstile thing, so like if you're like, oh my god, what does that mean, it tells you up there. What's a heart? Hot, alpha, rich, and toned. So Cliqutionary, the wit and wisdom of the Clique. I wasn't gonna buy this originally, but it was only like $5. And it's like almost new, so I love it. It's very cute. We have like, if you can read it, apparently they have like a contest on her website, which I will be covering at some point in the fall. LaceyHarrelson.com blog comeback contest winner is Beth McGregor, and her comeback's on page 56, so we'll get to that. For an amazing Lainey Davis, a walking Cliqutionary. And it's got like all the different patterns, styles, the Damascus pattern that the book sometimes had. Let's read the foreword. Some people, mostly young or insane, have an imaginary friend. Well, I have 5. Massey, Alicia, Dylan, Kirsten, and Claire. Their high-pitched voices and girly giggling resonates inside my head, that post-concert ear-ringing you get from standing too close to the speaker. Only this one never fades. For years, I have been dressing them, talking to them, listening to them, and laughing with them. I try to teach them life lessons, but they don't always learn. I fix them up with crushes, yet they're constantly getting crushed. I remind them to accept themselves, but we all know that's a hard skill to master. Sometimes I think about everything the pretty committee has been through, but all I see is a swirl of colorful book covers. How does one relive all the good times without rereading every book? You watch this. Yeah. The Cliqutionary. In these pages, I've gathered all the things that I want to remember, most from the series, and from now I want to share them with you, the real, living, breathing girls who inspire me most. Me though! This is my Cliqutionary. Oh my god, hold up, let me write a header for my notebook. We're gonna go with this seafoam Ariel color because it's pretty. I wish I had an over-the-shoulder rig for this, but I don't. So just be happy with what you get. Also, I think I'd be so nervous if you guys were watching me do script in a way any closer than you are literally right now. Like writing a word that I don't normally use in my normal lexicon is in script is so hard. That O is ugly. A-R-I. Yeah, okay. Is this I think this one's a questionnaire. Honestly, like, do it along with me at home. Let's have fun. So, which Clique girl are you? So, I'll read the questions and the answers, and then I'll let you know what I get at the end. Okay. Are you a Claire or a Massey? 1. Please, do you honestly think I haven't figured this out? I already know what I am. A Claire. A Claire. B, a Massey. C, a total free spirit who can't be labeled and shoved in a box, and I resent you for even trying. I know that I'm... How many questions are there? Are there 8? 2, 3. I know what I am. I'm a Massey. I just have a fully formed frontal cortex. Cool. 2, on the first day of school, my outfit is always A, eye-catching and unforgettable. You only have one chance to make a first impression. B, something everyone wants, but only I have. C, clean. And A, I like to wear clothing. It's fun. I'm also like clean, but you know, we're having fun here. 3, my favorite sleepover snack is, I can't commit, it changes all the time. B, low-fat froyo and sugar-free hot chocolate. C, anything that 4 out of 5 dentists would not recommend. I've been in like a thing recently where the only thing I want is rice crackers. Like, I'm deeply committed to this love affair. So I feel like low-fat froyo. I went through a froyo's phase when I was like 14. And that is, ugh. 4, everyone adores me because A, do you really have to ask? Look at me. B, I'm more unpredictable than Katy Perry's outfits. C, correction, not everyone adores me, but some people respect me. I'm either a C or an A, but I'm gonna go with an A. I don't know. 5, when someone makes me mad, I A, get even. B, unleash my inner drama queen. Everyone should know how I feel at all times. C, plot, plan, toss, turn, and eventually when the time is right, I go in for the kill. I am all of these things, but when it's little things, it's probably B. Everyone knows how I feel all the time. My gossip mouth is a sieve. So C. Here's the thing about boy-girl parties. I, the 25-year-old, I'm so ready for this. Or at least that's what I tell my friends. Boys are party poison. They cause all the fun. What took so long? Too many girls in one room can be dangerous. Oh my god, my mortal enemy is C. Actually, I think I'm B. I love to hang out with, and I'm using the term girls loosely. I like to hang out with my friends. I don't super love to be around other people who aren't my friends. I'll be polite, but I'm just like, hey, yum. 7, you're the new kid at school. What kind of clique do you join? The popular one, of course. If they all talk behind my back, it's better to look good than to feel good. B, I'd rather fly solo for once while I meet some quality people. C, I usually gravitate towards dorky cliques. So what if the entire school makes fun of us? At least for fun. I was C and also A. Because I knew I looked like a hot mess. So it was kind of fun to be like their little lapdog. But like, I'm a gossip muncher. So like, they're like, oh my god, we got homework answers from Megan. But I was getting what I needed, and high school in a public school system does not count. So as long as I was passing those grades and I wasn't getting caught, I don't know. Never on anything legal. I don't do that in college now. But me and my fully formed cortex. I'm gonna go with C, because like, that's how I am now. I'm just like, I'm just gonna hang out with this weird bitch and see what happens. And yeah. 8. Last question, by the way. When it comes to the most popular clique in my school, the only thing harder than getting in is A, staying in, getting away, and C, honey, the hard part isn't getting in, it's keeping people out. Let's see. I'm a hater. Okay. So you're done. Add up all the M's, C's, and L's you got. Okay, so I guess you can be a Massey, a Claire, or a Lane. So let's see. Oh. So I got an even mix between, and I'll, so you can see it and have your own guide. I got an even amount of Lanes and Masseys, but I'll read some more of it. If you got more M's, you're a Massey. There, I said it. Now relax. Massey is not half as evil as she seems. In fact, she's clever, funny, witty, and creative. She's an incredibly loyal friend and an animal lover who's often misunderstood. Sound familiar? Massey Block's biggest fear is being alone. When her popularity is threatened, she panics. Most of the time, she feels so desperate she acts mean to other people. Ironically, this pushes them away instead of bringing them closer to her, and she usually ends up worse off than before. But she'll learn, hopefully. When Massey's not using her creative energy to destroy someone's life, she's using it for good. She is OCD's biggest trendsetter. She can make something as common as her father's old Armani necktie look totally unique by putting her own personal spin on it. Hairband, anyone? So, a word of advice for the Masseys. This is a word of advice whether you went on it. People want to worship you. Next time, try killing them with kindness. I didn't get any C's, but I'll read it. Claire Lyons has a good heart, and she always knows right from wrong. But don't dust off those angel wings yet, sister. Just because you, Claires, know what's right doesn't mean you always do it. Stooping to another person's level is probably something you've done more than a few times, more than you'd care to admit. I see that guilty smile. Is being in really going to make your life easier? Has it so far? Or do you find yourself worrying about your clothes more than your classes? Because you are so sincere and generally adorable, you have the potential to just have as many friends as the Masseys, if not more. But that's never going to happen if you're wasting your time trying to impress the wrong people. Alright, and if you picked mostly L's, surprise, you're Elaine. And you're so over all the clique business. Lane Aberley doesn't need a group of fashionable friends to feel important. All she needs is a crazy mismatched outfit and a head of hair streaked with more colors than a Poochie scarf. To prove she's nobody's wannabe, she has the confidence, creativity, and strong opinions. She isn't afraid to stand up for herself and her friends, even if it means spending the rest of the day being ridiculed in the hall. Let them talk. Bad press is better than no press at all, right? But Lanes, hear this. Sometimes you take yourselves and your opinions a little too seriously, and you end up cutting yourself off from people who are actually a lot cooler than you might think. So here's a word of advice, whether you want it or not. Make your point, but don't stab anyone with it. Oh, I needed to We have fun here. Oh my goodness. So we also have are you an Alicia, Dylan, or Kirsten? How many questions does this one have before I turn the thing? It only has 7, and they're all on this page. Let me move my hands out of the way so you can get in on these questions. 6, 7. Okay, so your boots were made for A, walking, B, making everyone jealous, C, making your legs look longer, aka thinner, yikes, D, rich people, but you've got them on sale. I'm classic. I don't wear boots. I live in the South, but, you know. 2, when the going gets tough, the tough get a lawyer and sue. Going, hungry, grounded. I'm B, definitely going. I don't have the money for a lawyer. 3, you put the B in A, brains, B, beauty, and boobs too. Let's not forget about boobs. C, body issues, Jesus of Nazareth. And D, being yourself. I mean, it's obviously boobs, but this is a wild one. I wonder what the throw is going to be on this one. What weighs more, a ton of Prada messenger bags or a ton of Hermes scarves? I think it's Prada messenger bags. A, have you seen my butt lately? I weigh more than a ton of bags and a ton of scarves put together. Not the body issues section. Like, I didn't fully read these because I wanted to do the quizzes live or like, you know, fresh for you guys. I did not realize the Dylan section is so, oh my god, lagasp. B, do you honestly expect me to fit all of my bags and all of my scarves onto one tiny scale? Please. C, God, it's so obviously they weigh the same. A ton is a ton. How stupid are you? D, I agree with C. A ton is a ton, but don't worry, I won't make you feel bad for not knowing the answer. I feel like I'm a D because C seems so mean and catty. Get it together. 5, the S in school stands for sports. Spreading scandals for gossip points. C, snoozer. And D, staying out of trouble. School is for spreading scandals, because I was going to say D, but literally I just admitted that I was a little gossip gremlin. So I don't really have the moral standing to be like, no, school is for just getting by, which I do believe that, but also gossip gremlin. 6, the first thing I do when I walk into a birthday party is A, burp. It's the best icebreaker. B, find my BFFs and cling like skinny jeans. C, say hi to the birthday girl. D, slip into the bathroom and change into a tight, low-cut tee and pray my mother doesn't find out. Oh my god. B. I also feel like say hi to the birthday girl. Because, you know, if someone invites you somewhere, you should speak to them. But I also love to attach myself to my codependent, same-sexed friend. Not same-gendered. You know, you gotta attach yourself. Gotta be a succubus. 7, boys adore me because I am A, hot, 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 the keeper of all fart jokes. C, into sports. D, please. Who knows what boys are thinking? All I know is I adore them. Oh god. It's either hot, hot, hot or into sports. Because those are two things about me. I'm also very mean about the knowledge I know, so I think it's A. I think I'm just very hot. So let's see. This one has an uneven amount, so I have to pick one. And I picked A, which is Alicia. So I got mostly Alicia's. No, I did spell her name right. I've had to write their names a lot. And every time I write Alicia, I'm like, do I know how to spell this girl's name? I got Alicia's, so let's read through all the answers and then hopefully we'll have some less quizzes to do and can pick up the pace a little bit more on this. Alright, if you got mostly A's, you're an Alicia. Chances are you've been spotted on more than one occasion with Teen Vogue in one hand and the latest blend from $6 in the other. You thank God every day that you were born a girl because a life without accessorizing would be no life at all. So what if you're not big on sports? You already get plenty of exercise, shopping is your cardio, and carrying bags is your strength training, and zipping up your boots is stretching. No wonder you look so adorable in everything you wear. Hey Alicia's, here's a word of advice. Take a little time each day to focus on others. Gossiping doesn't count. Once you do, your inner beauty will shine, just like your outer beauty, and you will be even hotter than you already were. Oh my god, the children are playing basketball at 8:16 at night. Get a job. If you got mostly D's, you're Dylan. You're the girl who will do anything for a laugh. Ask an embarrassing question in sex ed to make your teacher say penis, burp in your ex-crush's answering machine, or dress up as a hairy butt for Halloween. No sexy kitten costumes for you. Nice going. There's nothing cooler than a girl willing to be a goofball in the name of fun. If you're a true Dylan, your favorite topic is weight. Yours. The good news is anyone can make floss seem funny. It's you. Hey Dylan, there's a word of advice. A dash of self-deprecating humor can be fun, but when it's used too much, it can draw negative attention to that one thing you're most self-conscious about. Think about it. If you keep making jokes about your big butt, what do you think people are going to notice every time they see you? Try a little experiment. Don't put yourself down for a whole day. Not even for a laugh. Nothing negative at all. Pretend you like your hair body, skin, clothes, grades, just the way they are, and then try it a second day, and then a third. Eventually, you will notice that if you stop pointing out your flaws, people will stop noticing them. You don't hear J-Lo whining about her big booty all day, do you? In a pre-ass world, this is wild sentiments. Come on, she acts like she had everything custom made. Try it, and you may learn to appreciate those quirky things that make you, well, you. Ugh. If you got mostly K's, you're Kirsten. Sister, for someone so smart, you can act so stupid and you get amazing grades and are minutes away from an invite to the Beckham's 4th of July barbecue. But that's not enough. No! Instead of appreciating all your talents, you spend all your time wanting what other people have. Whether it's money, a boyfriend, or shiny hair. You'll always feel like someone else has something better than you. Hey Kirstens, a world of advice. Look at your friends as a collective, a group of fabulous girls who all bring something different to the table, and learn from each other. So the next time one of your math-hating BFFs wants to tear her extensions out because two trains left 30th Street Station at different times and different speeds, and she has no idea which one will get to Grand Central first, help her. And maybe she can introduce you to her adorable boyfriend's adorable cousin. And if she doesn't, so what? With your brains and what that pending barbecue invite, you will find out your own guy soon enough. And if it's shiny hair you want, mix shampoo with vinegar and rinse. It really works. And if you got mostly U's, congrats. That means you are perfectly happy being you. Now please help the others. What a weird little thing. Conversations with the Clique, with the Claire and the Dylan girl. So this one has the whatchamacallit. This section has the end of year school thing. Actually, if I put, I'm gonna move you, I think. If I put you here, and then I do this here, can I see it? I can see it in the mirror. Cool. I'm women in STEM. Sorry. Okay, so we have Massey stuff. Let's just learn some more things about Massey. And then Alicia. Again, this is what I'm talking about. Where they're like, all the girls, they're whoever you want them to be. And then you assign them specific models. Because this is definitely the girl on her summer book. Her summer book. Not on her summer book, but on a different book. Like you can't say that it's like, it's whoever you want them to be. Her summer book, and obviously she plays Claire almost every time. Except for in the movie, which is why it throws me off. I'm sorry, I have to look to read. Clique quotes! Gave myself a paper cut. This is why my nails had to be done. I have to elementary school teacher these. So it has all the notable quotes for each girly pop. This is why God gave me a tripod. Nina has a quote. Boys love when bangs just rest on the tip of your eyelashes. It says, stand by my side. I can't see with all this hair in my eyes, and I may need your help crossing the road. And guys love when girls are helpless. Ay caramba. Ay caramba, am I right, ladies? Am I right? And we have the heart charts. And so tacky. Absolutely. Living for the, oh my god! She did my job for me. Honestly, this book is in fact my video. Who knew? If you're really into it, but it's crazy. Even there's some things in here that I haven't even talked about yet, but they've got the big ones. Oh my, I love this. That's so much fun. That's so much fun. Who else did Todd have a crush on? Huh. In Westchester, there are only so many alpha males to go around with all the boy fasting, boy snatching, and lip kissing. The The Clique's crush list is more tangled than Claire's bedhead. Good luck deciphering the web. Capula Hottie John Thomas Daly, aka JT, which is attached to Claire? Question. Every time I see the sealed with a dis font, it sends me into Fireflight, truly and deeply. I like carry the book around with me when I go places. Oh my god, are they click lit? They got musings and poems. Oh my goodness. Okay, so every time they have like a thing, the like I'm sorry thing from when Claire and Cam were broken up during Revenge or Strikes Back, and then they have Sky Hamilton's her poem from collecting all the boys from It's Not Easy. Massey's New Pretty Committee pledge, which we'll get to. Best Friends Forever with Crushes pledge from that same book. And the Sockhurst cheer from a couple of books later. Oh my goodness. So, I really do love this, looking at it. From Bratfest at Tiffany's. I was like, oh, I'm gonna reference the whatchamacallit. I'm gonna reference this like thing, this whole spreadsheet Massey had about the LBR she made over. Here it is. All of them. Oh god. I need to hear from the girls who modeled for the Clique. I need to know if they knew. The packing list from the Lake Placid trip, which I thought was crazy and wanted to reference and talk about in the first video, but it ended up not mattering because all their clothing got taken. Lots of back and forth. And the fashion. This is so, oh god, it's so 2011. Like 2008 forward. So the Cliqutionary part of the Cliqutionary, more like a glossary, if you will. ATM Challenge, a GLU, a Beta, a 10, Adorable, Bads, which is Body Lives Dance Studio, ADD, Abner Doubleday, Alpha, Undisputed Leader, usually worshipped by betas, LBRs, and more. Desirable qualities. It's alpha to have a bunch of ex-crushes. It shows you have experience. Apple C, which is a shortcut for copy. ADM, which I don't remember, but it's Ay Dios mío, Spanish version of oh my god. Preferred term of the Fanish. Aesop. Burberry No Punchback is a personal favorite of mine. It's talking about when in the in the prequel book, when they see a group of girls in all Burberry, they fucking knock them, which is so funny. I hate that in the movie they changed it. C-cups. See, there's a thing in here where someone was like, oh my god, Alicia got a breast reduction. And I just like never get that information. I have no clue what they're talking about. Spanish. FBFFs. Claire's Florida BFFs. Glossip Girl. Heart. Jobby. LBR. Lip version. Love. Muck. Massey's Underground Clinic for Kissing. OCD, OC Diva, what the surf hottie guys call high maintenance alphas, opposite of a compliment. Dune thought Massey was being an ultimate OC diva, and now he'd think Kirsten was girly to the nth degree too. Opposite of yes obviously means no. PMS, which is Presbyterian Middle School. Pop blocking, when someone stands in the way of someone else's popularity. A potty is a pretty on the inside, code for good personality, but not so hot on the outside. I love that it has like the references to where it's supposed to, where it came from in there as well. A Spanish alpha, Alicia's summer goal achieved through a series of embarrassing beta events. Spalfas tend to make questionable footwear choices. E.g., it was the opposite of Spalfa to go along with someone else's revenge plot, but it was hard for Alicia to think like a leader in a bile-colored polyester dress with an embroidered mop above her boob. Ugh. Okay, click book title rejects, and then we'll be done. These are, I think Geeky Friday would have been a good Lane-centric one. Happy birthday to you. Ew. They never talk about the girls' birthdays. We only know that Massey's birthday, like, all the birthdays have passed by the start of next season because of next school year, because Massey is a Leo. So it's either late July, early, and then to mid-August. The butt cracker. The Brat in the Hat, again, would have been fun. Clothes Encounters of the Worst Time in The Lion King. The Lion King would have ate. Absolutely destroyed. Lady Macbeth and Scumdog Millionaire, because it was 2011. These are so much fun. And then that's the end. I don't know. I bought the book. I was like, oh, I'm gonna gather it, and then I didn't, and so I was like, what am I gonna do? So 15 minutes on the clock. Okay. So, Summer Collection, 2009. So I hated listening to these books. I didn't even read them. I didn't own them all in physical form at that point. I do now, thanks to the Chamberlain Book Mine in Jacksonville, Florida. But I hated listening to these books and ended up going to good old Wikipedia for my answers. And I just really wanted to, like, get through it. So I have, like, a grasp of each story. There's things that are unimportant because these are all side quests. And technically, I'm telling you this out of order because this actually happened after the next full book, but I think I should cover it in the summer break section. So, you know, if it works better, if a script doctor thinks it works better over where it actually was, I would not fight them on that, because I can see how in a series, like, you come back, you do the first big episode, and then you're like, oh my god, this is what I did over the summer. Makes a little bit more sense. But this is how I'm doing it, so this is how it's going. I'm starting to melt. So this is Summer Collection. Book 1 has Massey. Massey goes to horse camp and immediately gets kicked out for gluing the owner's granddaughter to a saddle. While in the Hamptons, her parents are not happy to see her. They want her to get a summer job to pay back what she would have paid, what they spent on her horse camp. Because I think she's been kicked out of that country club. We never hear about Brownie again. Brownie's glue factory, So maybe, you know, get a job at the country club or babysitting to earn the money wasted. She joins an MLM makeup scam that, you know, think Mary Kay Avon mixed with the story of Anastasia Suarez of ABH. She preys on tweens and their insecurities and somehow ends up being the Hamptons' top seller. The Beautiful owner, when her meets with Massey, smells that she's a bitch and refuses to give her the VIP, like, stripe of purple hair that she earns from doing this whole thing. Massey's like, you don't own me, woman, gives herself the purple streak and then takes it because this purple streak is supposed to be, like, the, like, key in, like, New York City to get things that you want. So, like, if you're a member of this elite club, you can, you know, show the purple hair, and then they're like, oh, you want this purse that isn't out yet, technically, or it's on a wait list? Well, here you go. Don't worry about it. So she gets that, and she buys herself a new purse. Book 2 is Dylan. Dylan's mom is like, we're going to Hawaii. And Dylan's like, cool. Well, they're not going there to Hawaii to have fun. They're going there to cover a story about this, like, bitchy tennis girl and her, like, freak out. Well, Dylan gets into a flirtation with a tennis star, and it goes back and forth, and she's going to help this girl, and she's not going to help this girl. Well, it does not matter because things happen. Whatever. Sorry, Dylan, your story was not captivating. Alicia's in Spain with her Spanish cousins. They get a Spanish boy band to fall in love with them. Hey, them's the books. Kirsten gets a summer job as a tutor for the younger sister of surf star Dune. Kirsten ends up in a love triangle as she likes Dune and so does Sky Hamilton in her last appearance before going down to Alpha Island. With the help of the Witty Committee, a rogues gallery of our C and D list cast, and Lane, the smart nerds that Kirsten wouldn't be allowed to hang out with if Massey was there, Lane helps embarrass Sky at a pool, winning her secret friends and the love of the transient Dune. Last book, book 1, 2, 3, 4. I can count. 5. Claire goes back to Orlando to hang out with her friends, but it's different. She's different. A bored Massey ends up joining her and trashes Claire's friends' chances at winning Miss Kissimmee. Claire is there as a celebrity judge and plans on tilting it in the favor of her friends to win them back after Massey scares them off. But it doesn't work. Massey wins. Someone wins. Everyone's mad at her. Claire goes to apologize. She does the big, like, Claire, like, thing, and her Florida friends are like, we don't forgive you, we really wanted to win this. So, but she comes to Massey, does the same thing, and Massey forgives her. They're close, they're friends. They're real friends, not Florida BFFs. The Florida/Orlando chapter of Claire's life is done. Okay, ranking this, Kirsten is really fun. I've never heard Alicia's, and Claire's was really unbearable to listen to. I give it a C. A single episode of season 3, an opener. So the first proper book of season 3 is of third semester, 8th grade, is Breakfast at Tiffany's. 15 seconds. Oh my god, 15 minutes on the clock. Okay, so the girls are in their mid-era. These books are mid. We're back. So we come back and Massey is fighting. Fist fighting. Oh my god. You can't. Massey sets up a boy fast. A boy fast is essentially they're not allowed to have boyfriends. Kirsten and Dylan don't do shit in this book. Alicia makes a move on Josh, and Claire is hyper-focused on Cam. If you remember, Cam and Claire have broken up at the end of Sealed with a Diss. So, BOCD is full, overstuffed. Massey is like, we need to be the big alphas. They are at adversaries, at the adversaries of the school put some of the kids in the busted trailers. Alicia has a tip on this, but decides she wants to try things with Josh. So she sends the rest of the PC to the portables where she stays in the main building. All their classes are going to be in this main building. Now, classes are in the portable. So, like, there are plot points that are set up before this. They do not matter. This has got the simplest structure. Because everything in between, like, the end and the middle, the beginning and the middle, doesn't matter. Because then they get sent out to the portables. So, Alicia has a tip on this. She wants to try things. Josh sends them to the portables, where Alicia stays in the main building with the soccer boys, Koi, Strawberry, and Olivia. Massey thinks of a way to make the trailers better. A local news reporter comes in and Massey tries to spin it. Alicia insinuates that the special needs / bullied children belong there. Massey finds out about this, flips out, kicks Alicia out of the PC, and vows revenge. Massey gets flirty with the pubertized Dempsey, who is Humpty Dempsey in a previous book. He's a theater nerd and is witty and fun. Massey really likes him. He's fun with Massey. Alicia is miserable without the PC. She does not want to host Massey sells the exclusivity of being in the trailers after giving the trailer and the trailer kids a makeover. The makeover I was talking about in my little flip through. She makes the trailers over themselves, turning them into a big blue Tiffany box. The TV reporter comes back, being impressed by and positively covers the portables. Now everyone wants to be in the portals except for the soccer boys. OCD comes up with, oh, that's what it was. Okay, so like you might be thinking, oh my god, they had that special room that they finally earned the right to. Well, because they're overflowed with people, they decide to change that. They clear out the room and then they change it to sorry, I can't, I'm just thinking about baby hand. Iced out baby hand, I think the stupidest joke I've ever had, and I love it. But having the whatchamacallit, they put the boys' locker room there in their special place. I could not remember what it was, but that's what it was. So now everyone wants to be in the portables except for the soccer boy. OCD comes up with the idea of doing a locker decoration competition to win a place in the portables. Alicia and Massey share a mind meld moment, and Alicia sends all the boys to the portables except for Dempsey. Massey's gonna get him. Claire and Cam get back together because he misses her. There's like a whole side plot about like Olivia being a bad baby mama to their fake doll black sack of flour. It's like they wanted to do a sack of flour episode, but they couldn't do fully all of it because they obviously have to put her in the hole with the rest of the clique. So it's a little silly goose, but whatever, not my business. Okay, so our plot points are welcome back, revamp the portables, back together. Anything, like there's the makeover, that's probably important. But it's a really simple plot. Our relationship corner is Josh likes Olivia and Olivia likes Josh. Claire and Cam are back together after he breaks up with Olivia. Massey, okay, Darrington and Massey are at odds. Massey likes Dempsey. Know who also likes Dempsey? Lane. We'll get into it. Kirsten loves soccer and Dune, but mostly soccer. Kirsten seems to kind of treat him like a secondary thought in her life. We'll get back to that in the Where Are They Now section. I give this one a B. Fun and quick. Alicia didn't want to accidentally ruin her friendship. It just happened that way, and she really wasn't having a good time the entire time. I think of this one as a parallel to Revenge of the Wannabes, except she really didn't want to do it, starting season 3 on a really stupid but fun note. Okay, 15 minutes on the clock. P.S. I Loathe You. The messiest book. And finally, personality for my girls. My girls finally get some personality. I'm so excited for them. Okay, so the vibes are gross. Like, actually gross. Like, tangibly gross. The birds are attracted to the extra garbage, and so they're hanging out in the, like, back area where the portables are. And so there's a lot of bird shit around OCD. And they literally, there's like a whole plot point where one of the girls has to clean bird shit. So the boys have taken over the portables, making it Boy Town with Xboxes and flat screen TVs. Dylan and Kirsten literally get shit on by Massey and the birds. Massey's personality-wise is at her worst. And Kirsten, we actually get to see her life. She like lives with her mom. She has a cat that we didn't know about, living in their apartments and all that. Like, she's got like a life. She lives in an apartment where guess who lives there? Oh, it's Dempsey. Dempsey from the last book. Lane of the Witty Committee wants Dempsey. Massey wants Dempsey, but not to be outdone, Dylan realizes that she has a crush on Darrington. She's also pretty sad about the fact that she's never had a serious crush. And all the rest of her friends have crushes. She doesn't. They meet up for a while he's injured because he breaks his leg in a tree or something stupid. And he admits he doesn't like being called Darrington. He's Derek. So let's go to the Decahedron. I put this in the middle of the book instead of at the end because it is so intricate to the rest of this plot. Again, starting at the leg, I guess, is Dylan likes Derek, Derek is in conflict with Massey, but Massey won't let him go. Massey wants Dempsey. Dempsey wants Kirsten. Kirsten thinks she wants Dune. Dune is wanted by Sky, who also wants Chris Aberley. Lane also wants Dempsey. Cool. So why did I add Kirsten here? Because I said it. Because he wants her. At the end of the book, Dempsey comes to her to ask her out, and she's conflicted. We will, put that on the wall. Oh, we can pull all those other things off the wall about Dylan having a mystery crush and the cute moments they shared. All of that. And her crush on Derrickton from the beginning of the series at book 2 and 3. It all came back. Honestly, Lacey kept it Bible. What am I going to tell you? So Claire has Cam, Alicia has Josh, and Massey wants Dempsey. Lane is like cashing in her favor from the summer collection, and Dylan is a C- and feels like she's too fat to be loved or crushed on, but Derek is fun and likes her. The problem is that Massey has marked him as her own and refuses to let him go. Derek gets injured and Dempsey steps in as goalie. In an attempt to get close to him, Massey creates a cheer squad called the Hartnets. But the problem is that Alicia's a dancer and would be much better and they'd be much more effective. But Massey doesn't care about dancing. She wants to use it as a, as a springboard to get the boy. It's having it around, but she also doesn't want to lose or concede that she can't be the leader of everything all the time, everything all at once. So it is just like we get what some people being me, would call the Lycra era. Massey feels she's losing control and is stricter with her friends. Claire's just there like, oh no, my friends, they're fighting. Lane and Massey fight for Dempsey, culminating in Lainey literally vomiting on Massey, and then Massey blaming Kirsten for somehow not making her vomit or making Dempsey love her faster. Who knows, but Kirsten's at her lowish. Kirsten's crush Dune is kind of a nothing burger. He like shows back up, gives her a D charm, and then is like, keep that safe, it's my favorite. And then she loses it at the amusement park where Lane vomits on Massey, and then returns it just in time for the big climactic fight. So the PC cheer squad is a hot mess. Dylan's hairpiece falls off and trips someone. They slide into Dempsey. He gets injured. Oh no. Kirsten's like, my friend. Lane is like, I want him. And Massey's like, my crush. So because Kirsten lives in the same apartment as him, they're all like, hey, can you give me the thing? Well, Massey's like, why is Lane here? And Lane's like, why is Massey here? Why haven't you told her that I want him, that he's mine? Why aren't you fighting for me better? Why? You're making a promise, I'll never forgive you, blah, 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 blah. Lane is like, oh my god. Well, then Lane appears and goes, you forgot this. Or Lane was wearing it, and she's like, you forgot this. Dune sees it and is like, you said that you just weren't wearing it. You didn't lie to me and say that you lied to me when you said you didn't lose it. So everyone's mad at everyone. Kirsten's mom's like in the kitchen while this like argument's happening. She's like, you okay? Okay, Stu? And she's just like, yeah. And just like goes and lays down. She's like, this is too much. She calls bad sushi. Dylan really wants everyone to get along. After asking her mom for some advice, her mom is like, a good friend would never make you choose between a boy and them, but also you should never choose a boy over your friend. Well, Dylan's like, I'm gonna go and be like, hey, I want us all to get along. So she goes to Massey while Massey's in her like villain era and is floating in the tub. And she goes, Massey, I really like him. I want you to release him, baptize him. Well, Massey pulls both of them into the pool and says, you're both dead to me. Go, leave, bye. Don't want you. So they're all on the outs. When Massey finds Alicia training up other dancers for the cheer team and loses her. The cheer squad gets into a fight and whatever. So the only person Massey's still friends with is obviously the person that wants the least to be friends with her, probably, without everyone else being there, Claire. Dune, next morning, she's getting ready for school. Dune comes to her and is like, I'm sorry. She's like, I forgive you. Because she needs somebody if she doesn't have her friends. And then she rolls up. Or, no, Dempsey comes to her and is like, I want you, girl. And she's like, oh. And then she comes downstairs to Dune, and Dune's on his, like, bike and is like, you want to ride to school? And Dempsey's like, you have to make a decision. And she just goes, bad sushi, and does not go to school that day. She's like, bye. Bye. Which I love. I love that book. I had so much fun with Kirsten and Dylan. I felt for Dylan. I understood her motivations. I also love that she tried to be a good friend. She didn't try and homie hop her friend. Her friend just refused to release the homie. Release your hose, girl. Or don't. I'm not a mathematician. I give this one an A. 2-episode special. Because I feel like you have to give Kirsten and Dylan their due. It's the final season. And they know it's the final season. I love hearing about the perspective of the other girls. Boys Are Us. Let me put 15 on the clock. Okay. So, Massey, this is a book that goes really quick. But Massey literally buys her friends. Alicia tries to run a co-ed clique, and Claire is like, wah, my friends are fighting. Okay, so this one jumps the shark with Massey literally taking Daddy's credit card and being like, let's buy some models. In an attempt to get revenge, Massey pairs up with Lan to go ahead and buy and hire some models. Alicia tries to run a co-ed clique, but is then introduced to the fact that boys are annoying. They don't want to do girly stuff. They don't want to hang out and do the kinds of things she wants to do with her friends. If she was a clique leader, they wouldn't want to do those things. So she's like overwhelmed. She tries to like plan this like fancy dinner with everyone and their crushes, but the boys refuse to dress up, including her own boy Josh, who refuses, and she's like becoming deeply disillusioned with him. Claire is trying to straddle both sides, of course, because that's Claire. Dylan and Derek are being cute together, and Kirsten picks Dempsey. They seem to be taking things slowly. The models are confused. The boys are back at Briarwood, so it was all for naught. They're barely even a co-ed clique. Nothing was gained and friendship was lost. Claire recognizes one of the models from Doll L for Loser, and she uses this as a way to manipulate Massey and to bring her friends back. They all get back together. It's stupid. There is a side quest that I regrettably have forgotten, which is Massey meets a new boy. So Massey hires these models. She's like, you guys are going to pretend to be 9th graders, high schoolers. I'm hanging out with high schoolers because I'm so cool. Well, they're like having a party. The charity gala from the second book, we're back to that. Or is it the first book? It was the first book. That's back around, and so now because Massey's mom's like, you are too depressed, I'm going to need you to get a hobby. How full are you? Alright, cool, we have space. I don't think I'm gonna have space for anything else on my tablet when I edit this, but that's between me and God. So Massey's like, cool, we'll do like a fashion show with the models, and they need male models, so she tells them to go find some 9th grade boys. Well, they do, and she meets Landon and a couple of his friends. And Landon is this 9th grader. He has a pug, just like Bean. His mom owns a designer pet store. Landon's dog, Bark Obama, and Bean like to be around each other. And they're really cute. They like each other. I kind of hope the storyline would go in a different direction. I don't know. I just did. But it was fun. Alright, our love triangles is that Claire is friends with Massey. Massey likes Landon. Claire and Cam are fine. Massey is ex-crushes with Cam, is ex-crushes with Derek, and is ex-crushes with Dempsey. Josh and Alicia are fine. Derek is with Dylan, and Dempsey is with Kirsten. Cam is like, your friends suck. That's also part of it. That's when I was like, can you two both go jump in a hole? B, we are in Camp Stupid. We are going stupid this season. Stupid, crazy, stupid. Just don't make me suffer at this point with this Degrassi-ass plot point. With this Gossip Girl-ass plot point, Megan. I did that in 5 minutes. I did that in 4 minutes. Damn. 15 minutes on the clock. Let's go. These boots are made for stalking. Stop trying to date older men. Lane B. Meddling. Speak to your doctor about OCD and depression today. Okay, so it's Halloween. Last year they had a party. This year it's just trick-or-treating with their crushes. Landon doesn't want to go trick-or-treating, so he stays home and watches scary movies with his older friends. Massey ends up at his house and is found to be a little kid in lipstick compared to his 9th grade friends. In this awkward mess, Massey accidentally steps on the paw of bark. It's bad. Massey freaks out and insinuates that all the PC needs to get older crushes because when things are out of control for her, she lashes out at others. Alicia's like, sure. Dylan's a bit hesitant, and Kirsten's like, I'm gonna mind my business. Claire does not want this, and she's like, why does everything have to change all the time? Massey buys a spy camera for the dogs, and somehow catches this girl with a foot tattoo at his house picking up the dog, and she's like, gasp, he's cheating on me. I have to go beat up or bully the 9th grade girl. I think really she just needs to look at her to be like, who am I losing out to? What is he like? Is she trashy? She's got a foot tattoo, all those things. And it's like, as I said in my original video, you have to be at least 16 with parent permission to get a foot tattoo, to get a tattoo. You can't just, you are out of your league. You are out of your league. Whew. Massey must know who this is and outdo them. Well, of course, this older girl is like an 18-year-old vet tech trying to take care of Bean in a professional manner. Massey has a breakdown and decides to just tell him that he likes him, and they like each other. Yay, achieved. There's all sorts of things. This is the one that has them going to the pet park, and she's like, it's a gala. They should be dressed up. They're literally in heels at a dog park, and Claire ends up making friends with these older girls. Massey's been trying to talk to Claire. Claire's been trying to talk to Massey. They've been missing each other. They do need each other, but they fight. Massey's like, make friends with older people. Claire's like, no. Well, Claire also goes on the side quest where she's just trying to find friends that aren't the pretty committee because they're so toxic. And she ends up, Lane is like, oh my god, it's a photography club. It ends up being the gossip paparazzi club. But Lane takes her to the dog thing. They meet these older kids who are in community theater. Claire really thinks she's found her people here in community theater. Claire is having fun with these people after Massey's been ignoring her for like 2 weeks. So when she busts in there and is like, how dare you? There is now war. They have decided to declare war on each other. C. Let's get C. This is the last 3 books. I feel like this is a single episode, and then like the last 2 are broken into 2 parts each. But like we got like 4 more episodes. This would be like, you know, you get a really jam-packed. You might even have to split up season 2 just to make it even with the rest of them. But I feel like this should be like a network show where it airs like 2 times a year. You know, to coincide with the semesters. All right. Whew. I'm not even gonna change my timer. 15 minutes on the clock. Okay. War. What is it good for? Plot development. This is a heavy Claire versus Massey book. I had a note in here that I think by this point Lacey knew that we were approaching the end of the road, and thus I think the 2 books really pair nicely, as My Little Phony being a woke 2010s novel that looks back on what the first 10 books were and are disgruntled and disgusted with what they did. and offers like, this was bad, it's bad, Massey's not gonna win this book. But the last two books work together so well to be like, this is what the series is, and this is how I want the series to be remembered. And that's something I really like about it. It's an atonement. Whatchamacallit, My Little Phony is atonement. So, Massey is back, or still on, her fuck shit. She insinuates to Claire's new friends that Claire has lice. Trading blow for blow, Claire and Lane hide bugs in Massey's bed. The Blocks decide to fumigate the house, leaving Massey with the lions, without all of her things and items. Massey is distressed. Massey goes to the mall to buy things, and her credit card is declined. Stress times 2. At the sleepover, Massey calls Dylan fat, Kirsten lanky, and Alicia's boobs too big. The girls leave her, and they are not Team Massey. Stress times 3. So while this is happening, Claire and Cam and Lane are kind of brewing up this revolution that they kick Massey while she's down, and Massey then has a psychotic break and has to listen to musical theater soundtracks. The next day, Claire and Lane start their Pick Me, I'm Not Like Other Girls revolution, with Monday being the first day. Claire, encourages the girls to wear what they want to wear. Not just wear what they want to wear, because she doesn't really want them to wear designer clothes. She wants them to wear comfortable clothes and sweatpants. Like I said earlier, the messy bun type feminism. It's, the first day without Massey ends up being a total success, in which somehow they peel the manicure off of Dylan, and the Dylan of the first book would have absolutely Falcon punched a girl. Like, Dylan was not afraid to get scrappy and crazy. She'd burp in her face and just bah. But somehow without Massey being there, they're like, so whatever. So with that being the first day, Massey pretends to be sick and hides. When she's taking out Bean runs off and runs into Landon, who is homesick. The two of them talk and kiss, and Massey is feeling on top of the world. Nothing can beat her down. While Massey is in her sadness coma, the girls do a coup de call with Heather or Strawberry, whatever, ripping off Dylan's manicure. Alicia calls freaked out and forgiving Massey. While at home, Massey makes Claire's stupid overalls into something chic. The next day, much like the coup in Russia, it is killed before it can even begin. Massey comes back and is, effectively bullying girls who decided to show up like that, and everyone else is still in their Massey-approved items and things. Claire realizes that Massey's power is that she is magnetic, and that's not something she could just kill by telling people to believe in themselves and wear sweatpants. Massey's parents come home, and they have something to tell her. She's poor. The recession has hit them hard, and the fact that their daughter, bought models for like 3 weeks probably wasn't helping. They have to scale back their lifestyle. Massey can't tell her friends. She refuses to. Claire knows because they live on the same property. Claire goes to her to go be a good friend, and Massey turns her away rudely. Next day, Massey is out with her friends, and she's like, oh, these poor rich girls, they don't even know how poor I am. When Kirsten's like, I'm right here. But whatever. Todd, who is mad at Massey for killing Santa, tells the group that, which is made up of Landon's friends, are all 9th graders, so hanging out with Landon's friends because they're trying to get mature boyfriends, reveals that she's poor and that Claire can confirm it. Claire decides not to stoop to that level and keeps her secret. Massey realizes how much inner beauty Claire has. All is forgiven. Side quest. Never live your life in a way in which your friends are excited at the idea of you being destitute. You should really reconsider your life. I give My Little Phony a B. I'm so happy Claire wasn't just sad. She was mean and nasty, and I love it when they get bitchy and crazy. Everyone should get bitchy and crazy at least once in their life. I'm not changing the timer again, so put 15 minutes on the clock. I think the closest I ever got was 13 minutes. Last one. A Tale of Two Pretties. The end. Okay, so this book has 3 major phases. Learning to be poor, not leaving, and totally leaving, acceptance. This book is one of my favorites because we hear from everyone. Everyone's got a point of view. Everyone's got feelings on this. This is something that they both have their own interpersonal drama, and also they also have the drama of, you know, the main plot. So Claire is moving. She gets to have her own house now. And I was like, I wonder what that conversation was like if Jay just like pulled him to the side and was like, William, do we stay or do we go? And William's probably like, get off my property, brokies. And so they did. So they get their own house. And Cam got her and him couples photography classes. The rub is that it's on Fridays, and Fridays belong to the Pretty Committee. Dylan's mom got them a reality TV show, and Dylan can't tell anyone until the premiere at Mary Lee's Rockin' New Year's Eve party, and it's also kind of intense, always being on camera. Alicia keeps getting drawn to lead, even outside of her dance group, and after 3 failed coup attempts, Alicia is skittish about it. And Kirsten gets an opportunity to play for a really good travel team, one that could launch her into an Olympic career. They all have their own shit going on, but after Massey tells them that she is poor, they are all invested in their friendship and making sure their friend is cool. So Massey is poor, and she tells her friends, and they decide to sell their extra clothing out of season clothing, and they sell them in style bundles so that it's under the guise of selling outfits to help style the style challenge. They make a good little bit of money, and that means that Massey plans to use to buy her New Year's Eve outfit. When she gets home, her parents are like, actually, we aren't poor anymore, but we are moving to England. Massey passes out and then has to go tell the girls. She tells the girls the good news that they're not poor, but doesn't tell them that she's moving. Claire is like, what the fuck is up? Claire is like, okay, we're going to game plan this. And so they decide that she's going to test drive living with her other friends. They should be fine with it. And we'll figure it out. The issue is Dylan's family is filming the show, so she can't live there. Alicia loudly practices dance, and Kirsten has to get up for practice at like 5 o'clock in the morning. So Claire it is. Massey oversleeps and misses Claire moving out of the guest house, but they move in together on New Year's. They go to the new house. They celebrate their first and last Girls Like Us sleepover there. I'm not gonna cry again, I promise. And time for the Trauma Thunderdome. At the party, Massey tells her parents that she's staying with Claire. They pretend to be good parents for some reason at the end. And is like, no, you're coming with us. We're a family. Everyone cries. The girls get read by a psychic. They cry. Later on in the night, they speak to Massey's mom and Claire's mom. Claire's mom is like, their parents let them come back and stay with us. Yay, hope. But Massey comes back and is like, yeah, they let me stay, but I think I should go because it is good for my growth and challenge as a person. And I get to be an alpha elsewhere. Massey breaks off her life here in Westchester, breaking up with Landon to flirt with a new British boy that she meets on her flight to London. The end. The end! And I didn't cry this time. Yeah, the end. I didn't write my little synopsis for this one. It was silly goose. I did all of the last 4 books in under 15 minutes. Yeah, so that's how the story ends. And I said it in kind of an anticlimactic way, but it really was, like, Massey, like, comes to grips with, like, everyone comes to grips with their whole deal, and it's like, are these girls gonna be friends? For the short term, yes, even without Massey. But who knows what comes in the future? No one knows. Lacey has never done anything with this IP. But as you can probably tell, I've put a lot of thought into this series. And so now that we're done, Interlude 3, the final interlude, well, the final set of interludes, I wanted to tell you my, like, kind of insane fan fiction of what I think them being adults in, like, in their mid-20s, early 30s. Because they would be, if they were the age that they were at the start of the series, they would be closer to 35-ish. 30, but if they're about where the show ended and then moving forward, they would have been my age, which is about 25. So I feel like this works for that general, like, 10-year span of, like, your late 20s into your mid-30s. So, first off, I would love to do a shout out to my most talkative commenter, Jizzy D, who, when I asked, what do you think the clique is gonna be like once they are, whatchamacallit, what do you think they're gonna be like once they're older? They were like, fucking busted drug addicts. And you know what? I think, in a way, you are right. I think they all have a pill phase. Oh my god, but I also love the idea of them being like nepo baby internet celebrities, because I feel like at least one of them's got to have like an absolutely cringe YouTube face, no matter which like age group we go into. So I have a lot of thoughts. I took a lot of notes while I was working on these. I would have thoughts and then I would write them down on my little notebooks and then I would work on them. So some of them, like this, you could tell when I get to the part where I just like pounded through these, but I'm like, my favorite characters ended up being like Kirsten. I think if I'm ranking them, it's Kirsten, Alicia, Dylan, Massey, Claire, Lane at the very, very, very bottom. But I really found that I really liked Kirsten by the end. She's really relatable. Like, not everyone's a saint like Claire, and that's what makes her, even though she's supposed to be down to earth, she's kind of mean. But I wrote a lot of things about two things that I think are quite solid. I believe three things. I believe that Claire goes back to acting. I believe that Kirsten joins the USA team for one of the successful runs for the last decade, so either 2016 or the 2020 team. And I believe that Alicia is some kind of talk show personality. It could be an internet talk show. She could be like that. She could be like a Teffy. But I do believe that she is in front of many people, gossiping, talking, spilling the tea. There are many different ways this manifests, but these are the ways that I liked. So we're going to go through them. So Alicia has a talent. She has like a talented bone in her body. She could be a nepo baby journalist, a la Anderson Cooper, but more fun, a Wendy Williams. She gains credibility as a serious news journalist and then goes through a scandal that leaves her kind of feigning to do a Kelly Clarkson, Wendy Williams gossip fashion show, paired with Dylan maybe. She might even end up more like the Mary Lee. I also noted the fact that I believe Massey would attempt to be on the show Claim to Fame. And if you don't know what Claim to Fame is, it's on ABC and you're essentially like trying to guess who these random ass people are, who they're related to celebrity wise. Last season was really fun. I really enjoyed it. With the character who's celebrity person with Simone Biles is crazy because she literally has Simone Biles' face and everyone had to be like, we don't know who your celebrity is. We're totally not going to vote you off. But like if she wasn't safe or protected, she was going to get voted off. And we have the same thing this season where there's one girl whose person is definitely, Eddie Murphy. And like people are trying to guess it, but I already know it because I know too much. And it's just like, okay, sure. So yeah, I ended up with, I also have this list of just general things before I really got into it. Kirsten is a bisexual icon. She's given that they-them sandwich, and definitely plays on the 2016-2020 U.S. women's soccer team. With the asterisk attached that Kendra, Massey's mom, has always believed that the other girls are bad influences on Massey, and that's why she keeps getting away with things. Okay, so those were like my first notes. And then I was working on this video and the Bratz video at the same time, so I'm gonna actually probably have to look at both sets of notes. But these were so important to me. Okay. They're not cute notes, so you won't get photos of these. So I think that into adulthood, Kirsten and Dylan are still friends. Like when Dylan becomes the Kendall of the Card Gen, Marilee's, Marvel's, deal, is notable. She's like a notable friend supporting her at the Olympics in 2016. There is the Shailene Woodley of this world. While in high school, she stars in this generation's Little House on the Prairie as like an Anne of Green Gables kind of thing remake, and then starring in a YA book series. I believe I think she stars in the movie adaptation of The House of the Night in this alternate world, and is like super beloved, like Shailene in Divergent. And also Shailene was in American Girl media for like a long ass time. So she ends up being like so loved, putting her into B and A-list stardom. She also still talks to Dylan and Massey, but not Alicia. Kirsten and her have that middle class rich kid interaction trauma. Play Rich Kids by Frank Ocean. I do have a little interpersonal drama checklist where, oh god, if you can't see it, I believe that Alicia and Massey are still close, and Massey's still close with Dylan. Massey does not talk to Kirsten. I think that whole thing where Kirsten was like, ooh, is she poor? I think that manifests once they have distance between them. Kirsten and Alicia are not friends for that similar reason. Alicia's too rich and she's just too far on the other opposite scale from Kirsten. But again, Kirsten and Claire are still friends, and Claire is still friends with Dylan because Dylan is like the glue that holds everything together, I believe, making Dylan and Kirsten's relationships also kind of central to the plot. Like hooking them to one of the other girls would be so you can't accidentally lose them in the shuffle. So I believe, then I wrote down what I thought their sexualities were. I believe that Massey is bi/pan in a hip, cool way, but she only dates men. She's like the thing that like Republicans talk about. I think Claire is super straight, almost in a turfy way, to the point in which she has a story arc in which she has to release herself from the grip of J.K. Rowling and turfdom. Kirsten, gay, the kind of queer that defeats labels and is dating a they-them non-binary. Claire is shook and thus sets off her plot point. Alicia and Dylan are rich party girls, and that simply do not think of themselves as any kind of sexual being. They are sexual, but they do not have a sexuality until their parents decide that they are going to run for president, and the optics of their gay kids being together would be so good for their campaign that they have to force the two girls together. So this weirdly centrist campaign with a lawyer and a TV personality as running mates, switch them out however you need to, I think would have they have the energy of someone who says, I would have voted for Obama a third time. And what, if Trump, in a not Trump world, what Oprah's campaign would have been like running for president. Lane is literally old loser in Brooklyn. She is on fucking social media ripping them to shreds and talking about their clothing. But everyone's like, you have intense beef with these girls. And she's like, no, I don't. And they're like, everyone's like, we can tell. And then that's like a plot point. Cam and Claire are either married or they are very broken up. I kind of want to lean to very broken up because I want to put her with Josh because I love a bad boy storyline, but whatever. I kind of want to focus on Darrington as a other soccer star, and because Kirsten and Dylan are still close, they are still in contact with one another. I don't know if they're dating or not or what, but I feel like that's my will they won't they. They're so cute. And Todd's in jail for being a sex pest. Okay, here we have some more just random thoughts where Massey's parents were definitely a January 6th. I even believe that they were there with Claire's parents. I Massey loudly disavows this because she knows the optics of this are bad for her career. She can't live like this. Claire, Miss Super Straight Claire doesn't loudly disavow her parents being at January 6th, but she does tell the FBI that they were there, and that they tried to piss on ASC's door. The Lions and the Blocks are apolitical rich people that are just very stupid. Cool. Kirsten doesn't maintain a friendship with Massey because Massey is too far removed from her lived experience and resources. Like the lie that brought her to the PC in Charmed and Dangerous is less and less important because she has the things. She's a talented soccer star. She's intelligent. She does not need them to do things now. She is able to do things on her own, and thus I think she would stay with Claire because I think Claire and her would go and do things, and I think it wouldn't be like this whole like beggars chooser thing. I think she'd be like, oh my god, I want to take my relatable friend with me to do things. So I think they would still be friends. Claire and Kirsten and Dylan are bonded by the Venn diagram of the PC of being feeling outside and othered very intensely, because as much as like Alicia's another alpha. Alicia had other friends that were willing to flock to them. You didn't hear about someone flocking to Dylan. Given you do have Kirsten is also like soccer alpha, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah, cool. And then my last one is I believe that Alicia's going to be a TV star, like Kelly Clarkson / Drew Barrymore. Claire, as being a beloved teen actress, is like fake nice when she's on the show. But she essentially Dakota Johnson's That's Not True Ellen when they're like, oh my god, do you remember when we met and we were just the closest of friends? And Claire's like, the time you kissed my boyfriend at the school project, and it's just like, and then Lane is just stirring the pot on social media. Landon's mom is definitely a Real Housewives type, and so he appears pretty often in the reality star space, and maybe even dated Dylan for some PR components. So my last thought is it's only tangentially related, but it's like, you notice how when you have like male Nepo babies, there are only like 3 things they're allowed to do. They can be a celebrity chef, they can be really dumb, sorry, they can be a celebrity chef, they can be a less good version of their father athletic, or they can be a photographer. See Brooklyn Beckham. I don't really have anything else of importance to say. I realized I kind of like sprint ran and didn't talk about Charmed and Dangerous. Charmed and Dangerous is the prequel book. And essentially the Walls weren't friends before OCD. And they all meet at a New Year's party. I actually have the notebook with these notes in it right here, so you can go through it. So essentially the plot is that a night of fate leads Massey, who is sick of being beta to this unorganized elementary school clique, essentially stages a coup, runs away, and then speaks to a psychic who tells her she's going to make friends with 3 other girls. She loses the charms on her charm bracelet, and each girl finds one and then gives it to her, and they're like, oh, I guess we're friends. And then at the end of the night, they spend it together, and the other girls from the first clique kick Massey out, and they're like, whatever, OCD is a private school and we don't start school for another 2 weeks, so she's got plenty of time to transfer. And she does, and that's how they become the Pretty Committee. Yeah, it's really good. I really liked that one. I'd rank that an A. It was really silly. It's like, it's so hard to say goodbye. It was very hard, but I also did it, and I'm doing it again. And this one is just like, it's a really long video. It's 2 hours. I really like labored it, but because I didn't know how this was gonna go. but it was fine. It's fine. Those are my thumbnails. I had a lot of opinions and I already did the work on that, so of course I wanted to put it in here. But so it's like so many things have changed. When I first started this, I think I moved my books here and we were all shifted a little bit to the right. And now I've moved everything over, and for a little bit my books are here, which wasn't my favorite. Because I want you guys to be able to see the books in the background, which I realize now is just not feasible. So I'm gonna do one last book pull, and we'll, I'll be able to use those images in my, Okay, so I'm gonna lift them. Please don't let me break a nail. Ah! Ugh. My God, it is like something on the wrist. Whew. Okay, so you want to watch more of me? You want to hear me talk about more books? You see my bookshelf back there and you say, what? More? To tide you over until, I don't know, there probably won't be that much tide over time, because my next series I'll be talking about is Zoe Dean's Talent. It's in that same web of books produced by Poppy. I was like, oh my God, who's Poppy? What's up with that? Well, I did a bit of a deep dive, and I can show you another day. That will be up. I also have a deep dive coming out on a little like story time, like a retrospective about 2013 YouTube, simming YouTube, that's coming. I also have a video that's already written and produced, it just needs to be edited, about the author of the next set of books, Zoe Dean, that ends up going into some weird places. It has the same energy as my CW videos, and it also loops back to Warner Brothers because monopolies are evil. Just know that, like, you know, we're approaching a new book series, and we're finished with this one, which is crazy to me. I have a series ongoing that I just kind of been taking my time reading and releasing books for. That's The Secrets of My Hollywood Life. The third video that I actually finished and produced back in March, I filmed it the day before my 24th birthday last year, is going to be released at some point. And then I have Zoe Dean's Talent series that I'm working through, that will be released in the fall alongside some other content. And next year, the only thing we have to worry about once a month is The A-List by Zoe Dean. I have the first 3 books, so we're set through March. I think there are like 14 of them. And we're gonna do that next. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a fun time together. Thank you so much, those of you who have watched all like 15 or 16 of these books, of these videos. They have been my like pride and joy each month, and like people in my real life would not care to hear about these, and I would be insanely self-conscious to talk about them and read them without having someone to talk to about them. So I thank you so much. Oh my God, I've changed so much in the last year. My space is so much more livable and human. I've just kind of leaned into things that I enjoy more as I've gotten older, because who's gonna beat my ass? No one. And I'm just really happy with that. So thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Threads, all at Megan_Blush_. And if not there, you can find me as Meglina on a lot of those things if they let you have nicknames. On Threads, my @ should be Megan_Blush_, but my name is currently Hoan Fabrics the sequel, because that's what my name on Twitter is, which is Hoan Fabrics. Yeah, we're done. We're done. Well, I have to edit like 4 hours of 6 hours of content, but oh my god, baby hand. Iced out baby hand. Let's say goodbye. Bye. Bye, guys. I have an end card. Oh my god.